comes back, and just a back and forth game all the way, literally till 9 seconds left.
So the coin has been flipped. It has hit. Looks like, yeah, they're talking to, so it looks like, well, they never did indicate who won the toss. Okay, yeah, so Douglas is going to get the football to kick things off here, and we'll do our weather report as well, presented by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 613. How about 99 degrees right now? Officially, it's partly cloudy skies, but we hadn't gotten much in the way of cloud cover today. It has been hot, but both these teams have been preparing, all of our teams have been preparing throughout the last couple of weeks to be ready for this, and obviously great job by a lot of the folks on hand, to kind of get the fans on the sidelines, things like that. Everybody taking the safety part of this very, very seriously when it comes to the overall heat situations. Everybody's doing that. And Douglas and Washington getting ready to get going here from Henderson Stadium in Midtown Atlanta. And as we get ready to kick it off between these two teams, how about the thriller you saw a moment ago, Rusty?
Yeah, when you start thinking about playmakers, and we had Aaron Gregory there. The first time we got a chance to see Aaron Gregory, first time he's played in the state of Georgia, the 2026 #1 rated wide receiver out of North Augusta, South Carolina, moved to the Atlanta area, enrolled at Douglas County, and he certainly didn't disappoint. Brandy played both sides of the ball, but I think the story of the day was Quintavious Johnson, the Georgia commit. Not only did he play really good on defense, but late in the game, Brandon, they inserted him at quarterback, and I don't know the last time that I saw a Georgia defensive line commit take it 61 yards to the house from the quarterback position, Brandon. And I tell you what, I told Matt earlier, I can see it next August. Mike Bobo and Glenn Schumann arguing over a red zone. Can we have that D lineman for about 2 different packages?
You see the Douglas Astros making their way on the field. Douglas 1-0 on the season. They actually beat Mays last week in a rematch of another rivalry game in which Mays actually beat Douglas pretty bad a year ago, yet Douglas got the revenge on them last week and now looks to win another one of these rivalry games here this week against Washington. Washington started its season last week with a loss to Banneker, but a game in which really the Bulldogs played pretty well. They certainly fought. It's kind of a thrilling back and forth game, kind of reminiscent of what we saw between Douglas County and Mays a moment ago. That was the story for Washington last week in that loss to Banneker. And two teams here that know each other very well. Douglas all-time series lead, 39-1, 30 wins, 9 losses, and 1 tie. But it's been a little closer over the course of the last 9. Washington's won 3 of the last 9. So a lot of history between these two teams. It continues today. Should be a lot of fun. Also, you think about major college prospects on both sides. Jonte Gilbert for Douglas. This is the elite 2025 defensive back. We'll also see him as a featured wide receiver today. And then Cam Fountain on the other side for Washington.
I'm telling you. Cam Fountain. There's very few, Brandon, of those 6'4", 245-pound type frames in each class. And there's one playing for this team right here.
Washington will kick it off. Ball going to be fielded there at the 20-yard line and tackled right there. So good job on special teams getting down there to make that play. Quindarius Warren there to make the tackle. Kenyon Stocker couldn't find much room to run. And that'll bring the Astros out on offense. And our first chance to see John Wilson at quarterback. And we'll do our starting lineups here as well for Douglas on offense, presented by the Georgia Army National Guard. Wilson, good week last week in the win against Mays. Just a sophomore starting quarterback. He was 20 of 32 for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. Also keep your eye on Jonte Gilbert. We told you about him. That's the wide receiver. From a college prospect standpoint, you'll see him on the defensive side, but big-time wide receiver there. And then Antoine Watkins at running back, a big part of that game late. And you see Watkins right there on your screen, number 24. Big part of that game late last week in what turned out to be the win for Douglas. Once again, those
delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
And you see our officials here. Danny Mathis is your referee. This, of course, brought to you by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. Champ Burrows, Reginald Suddeth, Mark Reynolds, all a part of the crew today. Demario Holland, Byron Tarplin, Larry Hughes, the electronic clock operator, and Cedric Beasley, a part of the group here there as well. So we've had whistles that have stopped both our attempts to play from scrimmage.
Look at the formation by Douglas here. Got 3 to the top and 2 to the bottom, but we got 58 here spread out. It's almost like 7-man football in the box.
Yeah, really good point. Wilson going to throw. So how about that? You spread everybody out wide. You create a little bit of a soft underbelly right there in the middle, and you try to hit.
Yep.
Good idea. Just not able to connect with Arian Harden that time.
Look at the formation. So they're going to come back to normal formation, but tuck that one away for later. Tried to get a little angle route out of the backfield. Just wasn't able to complete it, but it takes a lot of defenders out of the box.
I think they had it. Just couldn't quite get the timing down.
Correct. It was open.
2 backs in the backfield. Hard count, and that's going to draw Washington off sides, I think.
Approachment, defense. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So in 4 attempted plays, we've had 2 penalties. Not exactly the pace we're looking to establish. Wilson again. Washington's got 3 down linemen, but a stand-up edge there looking to come out to the quarterback. Now they send pressure, throwing, pass complete. Out of bounds there at the 27-yard line. That's Dakari Carter who hauls that in. You see the starting lineup defensively for Washington. Cameron Fountain, that's the name to know. That's going to be number 3. You'll be seeing him all day long. That's a USC commit, but also keep your eye on Cornelius Kemp. That's a defensive back that had 15 tackles last week against Banneker. Once again, starting lineups brought to you by the Georgia Army National Guard. Looking to first down after the completion. Wilson, the handoff, and it goes to Antoine Watkins. Watkins, 14 carries, 64 yards last week in the win against Mays, and a lot of those carries came late when the Astros had the lead. They were looking to end the game, and he kind of helped salt away those final moments. So big, hard yards late for him last week in a rivalry win against the Raiders.
Cam Fountain there on the tackle. Coming down, you see him at the top of the screen there, standing up. Southern Cal, USC commit, 6'4", 6'5", 240 pounds.
He's coming again. He's in the backfield, and there he is, Cam Fountain, to make the play. Dakari Carter had nowhere to go. I think, Rusty, a lot of our audience who are tuning in with recruiting on their mind are kind of hoping you might weigh in on what the rest of that 2024 cycle might play out like for Fountain at some point in time.
Well, I mean, Tennessee is still trying to get him. I know they're trying to get him on a visit, but right now it looks like he's going to stay at USC. But Tennessee's other school is really the big threat right there for him, I believe.
Of course, Trojans playing tonight, by the way. Wilson going to keep it himself, staying on his feet. Flag comes in. He got up the 38-yard line, so.
And it's going to be awkward. He's down, but he tried to slide, but what he did, he had a defender behind him. So the quarterback did the right thing. Unfortunately, he had a guy trailing him. Watch him try to slide right here at the end, but he's got somebody trailing. Once he gets bent over, a little awkward right here. Watch him try to get down, but you see that.
It was Tyrese Amos who came in and made the tackle.
Blindside block, offense.
Well, it's been a sloppy start here for both teams.
Yeah, it really has been. Yeah, these officials going to be impacted by the heat like everybody else is.
Correct.
They're going to be in a bad mood.
Yeah, they're not going
to be in a forgiving mood here today.
We don't want to get into a flag contest.
You see the Midtown skyline there right here at Piedmont Park, Henderson Stadium. It's on the campus of Midtown High School, and it is absolutely gorgeous. One of the cool backdrops really in America, I think, when it comes to high school football. We're lucky to be here today. Going to back up for now. 3rd and called about 10. Wilson looking for a chance to throw. Going to have to hurry. Needs a block. Gets rid of it. It's going to be caught. And that's Jonte Gilbert. Gets his first catch of the game. Gilbert gets up to midfield. That's going to move the chains for the Astros.
Good job right there. He just went through everybody's scanned both sides of the field, Wilson did, and at the end evades one rusher and able to get it out to his playmaker, Jonte Gilbert, one of the top players in the country, recent decommit of Ohio State in the 2025 class.
You see the numbers as a receiver a year ago. This is a guy rated as, I think on three, he's got him, number 35 player in the country for the class of 2025. Is just Watkins now finding a block and getting into Bulldog territory inside the 40. So Gilbert's going to be something to watch all day long, and Watkins a nice change of pace at running back. Wilson going to survey the situation. Going to move it. Donis McCrary over to the right side. Another hard count, another jump. Going to be 5 free yards coming the way of Douglas. You mentioned McCrary. Keep your eye on number 10 today. Let's hear the call.
Encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
So prior to that penalty, you saw number 10 move from the left side of the formation over the right side. That's a 6'4" wide receiver who Stanley Pritchett, the coach, has said, kind of a basketball-type guy who could be on his way to emerging as a playmaker here. So keep your eye on a very tall receiver today. Instead, it's more ground action, getting a block there on the outside, and Kenyon Stocker gets a big gain.
Showed a little burst there. Washington blitzes off the other edge, and they catch him. Good job there. You see the free man coming, number 20. But at that point, it was too late. Stocker already had the ball in his hand and gone up the left side.
Wilson using that hard count effectively, and I think it's worked again. This will be the third offsides penalty on
Encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, third on this drive against Washington for that penalty alone.
He's doing a good job with his cadence.
Yeah, just a sophomore, but Stanley Pritchett, the Douglas coach, says he's played older than that in 2 games here this year. Going to roll right now, going to make the dump off there. And it's complete. Darian Harden, the tight end, 2 catches last week, gets his first of the day here today.
Love the play call there. They roll their quarterback out, give him run-pass option. That's an easy pitch and catch there in the flat on a little flood route to Harden.
We're in the red zone now, presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Handoff goes to actually keep. Going to keep it himself. Not find a whole lot of room, Wilson did that time. So second down now up and coming. Second and goal. Just underway here between Washington and Douglas. It's the Westside Classic, and it's the culmination of 4 games as a part of our Great Atlanta Bash here, presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Jet sweep, running left side with room, inside the 5. And it's a touchdown. Darian Harden gets Douglas on the board from 8 yards out.
Nice job blocking on the edge here. Just a little quick pitch inside on motion. And he does the rest. Great job blocking downfield. No one from Booker T showed up. And Douglas takes an early drive.
How about this formation by Douglas?
Look at this.
All right, now they break into something a little bit more traditional. Keeping the offense on the field for the 2-point conversion. It's Watkins hitting the backfield, fights forward, and he's going to get it. He shook off contact and got in for the 2-point score. So Douglas has added to its lead. It's now 8-0. So big start for the Astros here. Washington gets a response. We're glad to have you with us on a Saturday afternoon on Peachtree TV.
Born in Atlanta, that means something here. It means you were raised amongst the trees and the skyscrapers and the people. It means you grew up cheering for our teams, no matter what. It means you know how to play well with others. And those that leave to do big things never really leave. It means when you grow, you help Atlanta grow. Introducing the new Corral Pavilion at Grady. Atlanta born and now raised.
For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Today, Morgan & Morgan has more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world. Call Morgan & Morgan for the people.
It's back. Come join the fun at the Athens Fair, August 31st through September 4th at the Greater Athens Fairgrounds. Bring the whole family out for a fun-filled day of one-of-a-kind rides like Carnage and Skydiver. There's something for everyone, including the circus, a petting zoo, live music, and all your favorite fair foods. On September 4th, join us for a special event, the Spanish Heritage Festival. Tickets at the gates are just $10 for adults and $5 for kids. See you at the Athens Fair, August 31st through September 4th at the Greater Athens Fairgrounds.
Go big or go home. It's your chance to test your knowledge and win cash. Peachtree TV is looking for contestants to appear on a new game show. Submit a short video telling us why you want to win and what you would do with the prize money. Scan the QR code to apply.
Welcome back. Brandon Adams, Rusty Manziel is a part of our GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com Great Atlanta Bash. Douglas takes the lead 8-0 over Washington, but the Bulldogs get an offensive drive here coming up. Before that, though, our Breda Pest Management scoring summary: 10 plays, 83 yards, 4 minutes, 36 seconds off the clock. Handful of Washington penalties also helped. And then it was Darian Harden who had the 8-yard touchdown run to put the Astros on the board.
Big shout out to APS, Atlanta Public Schools, for helping put this on. Great job to showcase their teams this weekend all around the state on 2 different days from beautiful downtown Atlanta.
Absolutely. I'm going to say this, Rusty. We're going to have a whistle that's going to stop our kickoff. You know, I kind of grew up in the country a little bit.
Yeah,
and
I certainly did.
Yeah, and, you know, I don't
Encroachment. Team. 5-yard penalty.
I didn't grow up with the awareness of how much fun these rivalries here in the city of Atlanta are. You know, talking to both these coaches this week, Justin Rivers from Washington and Stanley Pritchett, former Atlanta Falcon, the head coach at Douglas. You know, these guys put their heart and soul into this rivalry that really is like a neighborhood rivalry. These two schools very, very close to each other. And, you know, Mays is right here, a part of all that too. And a lot of these APS schools very much the same way. And I love being a part of this event. I hope I get a chance to do it for many years to come because it has given me so much awareness about an aspect of Georgia high school football that, not having grown up in the city of Atlanta, I just didn't know that much about.
I'll be honest with you, as you further expand on that, you know, we brought a team outside of APS last night, Calhoun, to play. I had 3 different schools today reach out to me and say, hey, if that's open next year, we would love to maybe play in that. And those are teams outside APS, so that's a great thing for APS schools, is also to get to play some non-traditional teams.
Short kick, Cornelius Kemp fielded it, and then he stepped out of bounds. They're going to get the ball at the 34-yard line. Not bad field position necessarily. And I'll tell you this, from the Calhoun side, talking to some of their folks, they loved being here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously they got the win, so that made them happy,
Sure.
but they were thrilled about coming to Atlanta. It's a testing ground for coming back to Atlanta for state championship potentially, but
Correct.
the idea of playing in a cool location with an amazing view and a good hospitality, they were thrilled about the chance to be here. So I can imagine we will have more kind of outside of Atlanta type teams who say, hey, you know, give us a good matchup and we'll come out there and we'll be a part of it. So Washington going on offense for the very first time, a chance to see Tyreek Woods, who, interestingly enough, is also a starting safety on this team. Hit in the backfield, though, not much doing on the running play there on first down. Jordan Turner got a chance to carry the ball that time. We'll see our starting lineups here for Washington on offense, presented by the Georgia Army National Guard. Woods, we told you about, quarterback, two-way starter. Remember, both these teams going to play a lot of guys on both sides. Also, keep your eyes on one side of that Washington offensive line. Marvin Scott, the tackle, 6'2", 270 pounds. Willie Hicks, the left guard, 6'3", 330. You got a center that's 290 pounds. For a two-way school, pretty big offensive line, especially on that one side.
Yes.
That's the handoff to Turner. Turner, once again, finding very little room to run. Did have 122 yards last week in the game against Banneker. And now for Frederick Douglass on defense, once again brought to you by the Georgia Army National Guard. obviously you're going to watch Jonte Gilbert. That's the guy we told you about a little earlier. Defense, the side of the ball he's sort of known for. But also, you're looking at Keontae Langford, who had 6 tackles last week against Mays. Andreco Griggs, the linebacker, had 9 tackles last week. It's not just Gilbert here for this Douglas defense. Some young guys, though. That's the one thing that Coach Pritchett told us. This is still a little bit of a young kind of defense, still trying to develop, playing a lot of juniors out there. And now on 3rd down, Woods going to have to hurry. Pressure coming, gets the block. Now just going to have to throw it away, and that's the only decision he had. He had nowhere to go with that football.
Got a flag down in the secondary.
There may have been a reason that no one was open there.
Yeah, could have been. See 2 Douglas defenders kind of talking amongst each other.
We have no foul.
So the flag gets waved off.
May have thought the ball was uncatchable.
Could have been.
Yep.
Just given where it obviously went. Kind of reminds me of your now colleague on the radio, Mike Johnson. Story he told me one time he obviously played at Alabama. He said the biggest no-no for them when he played there was the thing when there's any kind of disagreement in the field when somebody starts pointing at somebody else.
Yeah.
Like it was basically like the senior said, "Don't you ever point at me," because that becomes a message to everybody on TV and in the stands that somehow you think I'm the one that did the wrong thing on that particular play.
Mike's a great guy. He's really good. Loves high school football.
He does.
Really good on the radio.
So Turner, the running back, going to also punt. And that's not going to be fieldable. Down to the 34-yard line, so Douglas gets the lead on its first possession, gets the stop, and now they got the football back. It's a great rivalry game. It's known as the West Side Classic. It's part of our Great Atlanta Bash. Quick timeout and more football right after this.
What does it mean when people say America is a land of opportunity?
It means the power to discover,
to redefine yourself,
to improve yourself,
to challenge yourself,
to realize there's more in you
than you ever knew
that you could do.
It means giving people an open field to explore what they do best.
With the best tools,
the best training,
the best technology in the world.
We bring out the best in the people who serve.
So you can be all you can be.
Hendrick.
Drive now, pay later. Shop HendrickCars.com this month and make no payments for 90 days. Over 20,000 new and pre-owned vehicles. No payments for 90 days. Visit HendrickCars.com.
The Georgia Sheet Metal JETC equips apprentices with the knowledge and skills required to start a rewarding career in the sheet metal industry with programs in HVAC, industrial welding, and testing, adjusting, and balancing. Training is 100% free and allows apprentices to earn as they learn. Journeymen graduate with no student debt and have the potential to earn more than most college graduates. Visit our website to learn more about this opportunity at careersinsheetmetal.com.
In sports, an edge is everything. Hard work, practice.
Let's stay focused out there.
It all adds up for your athletes. But what about your field? The right surface is a powerful advantage that allows them to train effectively and safely.
Here we go.
And when the lights come on, your team will be ready to win. You bring the vision, we'll bring it to life. Sports Turf.
This is how we do it. The GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com Great Atlanta Bash is sponsored by Score Atlanta, your source for Georgia high school sports. HendrickCars.com. Get no payments for 90 days at HendrickCars.com. Experience the Hendrick difference. Sports Turf. You bring the vision, we'll bring it to life. The Georgia Army National Guard. The next generation is now. And by Ford. For great offers on F-150s, see your local Ford dealer.
And welcome back, everybody. Douglas on top of Washington, 8-0. As we're just underway in the first quarter of Game 4 of our Great Atlanta Bash, presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com, and the battle here known as the West Side Classic. A Douglas team trying to go 2-0 for the first time since 2019. You see Gilbert getting his second touch of the day, staying on his feet, and still on his feet. Finally driven back But he got up about the 38-yard line, got about 5 that time on first down.
Just early on, I've seen him in some camps. First time I've seen him in pads, he just looks different.
He does. He's got a great look.
He's a little bit quicker than everybody around him.
And don't forget, as we're playing our game today, you can watch the Breda Pest Management High School scoring ticker rolling underneath. That's presented by Breda Pest Management. Look back on all the games from last night, including a team we'll see next week. Carrollton, big over South Paulding last night. So we'll recap the weekend as we're kind of going through this game here today.
I'm telling you, that Rome-Carrollton game next Friday night on Peachtree, that is a reason why we have 8 p.m. games.
Absolutely.
That is a prime time, grown man. They've played the last 2 years. Rome beat them 2 years ago. Carrollton beat them last year.
Rusty, and this is your hometown, so you know this for sure. There are people in Rome who will tell you that Carrollton is that program's biggest rival.
Probably is. Right now, I'd say so, yep.
Let's take a look at the team resume here, presented by Smart Local 85 for Douglas. As I said, trying to get to 2-0 for the first time since 2019. Stanley Pritchett, an amazing figure at head coach. He actually graduated from Douglas, played football at South Carolina, was a 4th-round draft pick of the Miami Dolphins, played 9 seasons in the NFL, including the Atlanta Falcons as well. And Rusty, how about his father, Dr. Stanley Pritchett, right now, is the acting president at Morris Brown College. So an amazing pedigree when it comes to education, but also a tremendous football pedigree, having played for South Carolina, kind of the early days of the Gamecocks as an SEC program, and then 4 different NFL teams on 9 seasons. I asked him this week, I said, does that NFL pedigree give you a little bit of extra platform to talk to these kids? He said, oh, yeah, you better believe that. I say, hey, this is what hard work does for you. It pays off, gets you to where you want to go. I know how much respect we both have for Coach Pritchett, a really, really good guy, an interesting
Super
figure.
Nice guy, yep. Interesting. I didn't realize they were that deep in rappers. Lil Jon, T.I.
Oh, how about that? Yeah.
Hey, that's a strong resume.
Impressive for sure. Of course, a lot of us, when we think about the Douglas Astros, I was thinking about Jamal Lewis. You already know what I was about to say.
No doubt about it, man. No doubt about that. That with Jamal Lewis and Jasper Sink's year in high school football in the state of Georgia, those two young men forever kind of locked together like Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields.
Yeah, it's a great comparison.
Same class.
Speaking of Douglas running backs, you see Antoine Watkins there on the carry.
Interesting Jamal Lewis story. The year they played the Georgia-Florida game, they were still playing it, and they played it in the old Mercedes-Benz. Kirby Smart's dad, Sonny Smart, was the head coach for that team that year. And Jamal Lewis and Jasper Sinks were the running backs for that team. And I was able to work the sidelines that day and just working the chain so I could be close and see what's going on. And I remember after the game, there was a buzz among those Georgia high school coaches that said Jamal Lewis is going to be a problem for anybody that plays Tennessee.
I mean, I think that
it didn't take long.
As you see, another nice carry by Watkins. Had a big game last week, and nice start for him today. I mean, I think for a lot of Georgia fans who remember that 1998 Tennessee championship, one of the things that kind of sticks in the craw, a lot of UGA fans, is the fact that you had 3 prominent Georgians on that team.
Yep.
Lewis, Deion Grant,
Coleman.
and then Cozy Coleman being the other.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Cozy Coleman out southwest of Cab.
Wilson taking the snap, going to throw.
That Gilbert didn't get set at the top. They're going to get him.
They got the flag way up there.
Official got him there. He wasn't set. He was kind of looking at the sidelines, looking back to see what the formation was, and never really got set before the ball snapped.
Yeah, you see the indication of the call there. And once again, that ball was intended for Adonis McCrary. That's the guy I was mentioning early, 6'4", 180 pounds, just a junior.
Yeah.
One of those guys that Coach Pritchett says kind of, I don't want to say transitioning away from basketball, but kind of realizing as a guy that's been primarily focused on basketball, that a 6'4" wide receiver, you can get a good bit of attention. You know?
Yeah, nobody at the NBA is 6'4", but there's a lot of people in college football that are 6'4", and that's a good thing.
Watkins again after the penalty.
I don't think people, Brandon, and I go about once a year, and you've probably been to a lot over the years, I don't think people realize how big of humans and how big of
athletic humans that the NBA is.
It is, to me, the best sport to sit close for.
Correct.
You know, when you sit, if you're ever lucky, and of course, I know Rusty Mansell gets a chance to do this. He's not going unless he's sitting courtside. But for the rest of us, if you ever get a chance to sit courtside, it's worth doing just because of how amazing that it is. And let me also, while we have a moment here, tell you about our friends at Breda Pest Management, because on an area the size of a football field, there's room for over 1 million termites. You may not have known that, but it is true. And so the question you might want to ask yourself is, what's stopping these termites then from finding your home? Well, that's where Breda Pest Management steps in. They can protect your home from termites, and they can prevent these silent destroyers from costing you thousands of dollars in damage. You can find out more at BredaPest.com. That's BREDA, BredaPest.com for more on that. Back here live. You see Douglas coming back on offense. Coach Pritchett told a good story this week. You know, they beat Mays last week and had gotten beaten pretty bad by Mays a year ago. And then Coach Pritchett, who I mentioned, also went to Douglas, said, we lost our junior and senior year to Mays. So the Texan calls he's been getting after getting that rivalry win against Mays last week made him a very popular figure. Throwing deep here, and it's caught. Nice catch by Quintavious Boykins.
Man, great job there just to track that ball in between two Washington defenders.
Watch him change here. We just throw this one, see if our guy can make a play. Watch him come right in between both of them there, kind of lean into that ball and avoid the contact, make a big play.
29-yard reception for Boykin. One catch last week, big one here right now. Quavius Glass, the 5'10", 260-pound defensive lineman. Comes in, makes a nice stop on that first down carry. Only got a yard. I think Glass's jersey's holding on for dear life right there. That looks like a defensive lineman.
That is a look at the D line right there. That's some big boys.
I'm telling you, Washington's got more. Yeah, they've got a lot of guys to play both ways, but a lot of size for a 2A team. As you see, Wilson throwing. Kind of no one too close to that.
Yeah, that's going to be a 2A school today, and playing both ways is going to really push these guys.
I will say this, probably going to see it, but last game I was very surprised. I think we had one cramp.
That's good. These coaching staffs working very hard to prepare their players.
One cramp.
Of course, Justin Rivers, the Washington coach, calls it Iron Man, two-way football.
Yeah, I don't know.
He calls it Iron Man football. I like that.
Yeah.
Watkins. They instead got a
nice catch.
Yeah, nice catch by Harden. Harden's already got a touchdown today. Kind of went up for one-handed on that one. Loses his helmet in the process. Got about 5 on the reception, maybe only 4, but another nice catch for Harden.
We're still on baby watch with Ashley Carey. Had to check in for our longtime producer, and
she's probably sitting at home right now in some AC with her feet up.
Yeah. As we're in the red zone here, presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Well, if anyone's earned the chance of being a little air conditioning, it's her.
No doubt. Need to get her to
send us a picture of her drinking a cold milk in the recliner.
There you go. Douglas calls timeout, by the way. Looking at a 4th down. They want to make sure they know what they're doing here.
Yeah, I like Douglas right now, what I see out of them. I think they got some guys out on the edge. Quarterback looks like he can make some plays. Obviously, when you've got Javonte Gilbert-type player, always a threat.
So football back. We're enjoying that here right now, and it's also coming back for the Atlanta Falcons there, too. And it's time to rise up, Falcons fans, because there is limited season ticket inventory that still remains, and you can find out more about that and select your seat today at atlantafalcons.com/tickets.
What is Falcons football? It's Grady putting quarterbacks on notice. It's Kyle shredding defenses like a unicorn. It's Tyler breaking tackles like phone screens. It's AJ locking down anyone on his island. It's Drake touching the sun. It's ZP breaking another record. What is Falcons football? It's all you dirty birds. Rise up.
So 4th down coming up here for Douglas. Expectation is they'll keep their offense on the field. Looking at 5 yards to pick up. Astros have the lead on a Darian Harden touchdown a few moments ago. John Wilson, the quarterback, takes the snap, looking towards the end zone. Not able to connect with Jonte Gilbert. And that's going to be a turnover on downs. You don't hate the idea.
No. I love that. Listen, he's the best athlete on our team. I'm going to take my chances with him one-on-one.
As the Bulldogs get ready to come back on offense, we can see our Washington resume here presented by Smart Local 85. Coach Justin Rivers, 3-7 a year ago. Didn't make the playoffs, though. Last appeared in the state final going back to 1961. Of course, you want to go back early years, 4 state championships. And how about the high school Martin Luther King Jr.? Amazing.
Man, that's a mic drop there for alumni.
Also getting ready to celebrate their centennial. At 100 years old, really one of the oldest schools in the entire South. So a really cool thing to consider there, and something that I know they're very proud of. Yeah, I mean, there's so much history in Atlanta. When you get a chance to walk around here and kind of soak it all up, and I think those of us who have been here a million times, maybe sometimes we're guilty of not appreciating all the history that has kind of unfolded right here just a couple of miles from where we happen to stay.
I got thinking today about what games have been played in this stadium.
Absolutely.
You know, there had to be some just absolute great games.
A lot of our audience may not be aware, as you see Jaden Heath come in motion there on the right side now, going to be at the bottom of your screen. This is the field. Now, it wasn't field turf back then, but this is the field that Eric Russell got his coaching start.
Correct.
As it was then known as Grady High School, Midtown High School now, head coach there. So that's a huge figure in both University of Georgia and Georgia Southern history. His coaching career began right here.
Let me show you my age on this field. First time I was a member of media working for Scout.com, I came here to watch North Clayton play what was then Grady High School. So that was a Marlo Herrera versus Damian Swan.
How about that?
Back in the day. I believe that was 2011, 2010.
Yeah. We've been around that time at least. Just a little bit too early on that.
Oh, Bob Euchre just a bit outside, just a bit offsides there.
We've told the story before about Henderson Stadium where we are today, but a couple of years ago, our executive producer, I.J. Rosenberg, we were just kind of down walking at the bottom of the stadium, and we found, now it's huddle.com, it's everything online and digital. They had the old big reels.
Yes, from the 40s, right?
So we'll do our Gordo's cheesy play of the game there, and just a little too soon there on that. But listen, no fault for being aggressive, just a little too soon.
Yeah, man, the football nerd in me wanted to get a projector so quick and watch some of that.
Like, I can't even imagine what was on those reels IJ found.
Amazing to think.
Counter.
Yeah, you see Jordan Turner getting a chance to carry the football, swarmed.
Might be a face mask there. I believe it's going to be a face mask.
Jameer Morton, one of the first guys, threw in on the tackle. But Rusty said you may have had a face mask there on that. The other thing the old folks will tell you when it comes to some of this old reel-to-reel type, video was when you edited it, you talk about the cutting room floor, they really did cut it with a pair of scissors. If you want to go back and find great plays of like the Frank Sinkwich era or some of like the early players from the 1940s, there's not a lot of that existed because the highlight plays would have actually been cut out of the reel.
It's like one of my favorite quotes from Barry Switzer. Said the first time he watched film on Marcus Dupree, they watched about 6 foot of reel, and he said that's all I needed to see. And people don't realize 6 foot of reel.
I don't even know what that means.
He watched 6 foot, and that's equivalent to about 40 seconds of huddle. Let me just put it to you that way.
You always say, hey, put your best highlights first.
And that's all you needed to see on Marcus Dupree, and he knew.
Going to throw here. Fight for the football. Jonte Gilbert almost went up and got it.
Man, he thought he had that one.
Yeah, Gilbert's a good-looking athlete.
Yes, he is. Impacts both sides. Look at the length on him. Look at his arms, how long his arms are as a corner.
How about the Goodyear blimp in town here for today?
Coming to pick me up. Going to take me back home so I can beat traffic.
So.
It's going to park over at the Mercedes-Benz and go ahead and pick me up. Thank you, Dave Hunter, for sending that, Coach.
That's really nice. Now, listen, as much as my ego would love to think that the Goodyear Blimp is here to cover the Great Atlanta Bash, I have a sneaking suspicion it's here for the Tour Championship, which is just down the road at East Lake Country Club. But you know what? I'm gonna pretend that that's here for me, doing play-by-play for the finale of the Great Atlanta Bash. I had a chance to be over at East Lake on Thursday, by the way, and man, that course, it's interesting. They're about to reconfigure the course.
Yeah.
Kind of restore it to kind of what, the tradition of Bobby Jones. But a fun way to kind of conclude the PGA Tour year with a lot of money.
They really did a good job setting up those playoffs in golf.
Yeah,
kept the interest going late.
They've tried a lot of different things, and of all the things they've tried, I believe I probably like this current format the best. Yeah. Woods gonna be in trouble. Gets away, but won't get away for very long though. Gonna be brought down around the 30-yard line, and that's gonna end the quarter. He loses a lot of yards on that. And that's how our first quarter is going to come to an end. So we'll take a quick pause. Douglas has the lead. Washington trying to do something about it. Everybody having a good time in Midtown Atlanta today. So stay with us right here on Peachtree TV.
My brother Tim was paralyzed at Disney World. We got to see what happens when you're poor and you got a big injury, and we ended up hiring the wrong lawyer. When I see these clients in my lobby, I see my brother Tim, and I don't want him or them to ever have that kind of representation. I want them to have their best chance of winning and the best chance to put their life back together the best way they can.
Life's better when you're under our roof.
I won't cry.
Because when you feel protected, you're free to enjoy your dreams. Bundle auto, home, and life and save up to 27%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
In the game of life, people want to bet on a winner, no matter what the circumstances are. People want a proven winner. If you've been in a car wreck, you want to hire a lawyer with a proven track record. When the game of life lands you in a situation that you know you can't handle, you need to call Johnny. Don't roll the dice.
In this game, it's your life that counts. Call me.
They're real winners.
All right, welcome back. Second quarter action about to get underway. Douglas on top of Washington, 8-0. The finale of our Great Atlanta Bash, presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com, and the rivalry game known as the West Side Classic between Douglas and Washington. Brandon Adams, Rusty Manziel on hand. And with Washington with the football kind of staring, a little bit of a long field here. I think we're still trying to figure out the weapons that are going to work against this Douglas defense right now.
Correct. And the one thing I'll tell you that's not going in their favor, and you mentioned it right off the bat, they got a lot of guys going both ways up front, and that's going to be a tough road to hoe for Washington as this game goes on. But I tell you this, I don't know who dialed it up, but there's some clouds in the sky, and every now and then that sun goes in.
Every now and then, just for a little bit.
And I'm just absolutely ready to hug everybody in the booth.
I'll take a handshake at this point. To Rusty's point, Washington a 2A school.
Correct.
Douglas a 3A school. So we often do games where there's 100 players on the sideline.
Yeah.
This is clearly not that. There's probably not 100 players combined in this game. Jordan Turner, that's kind of their guy right now. He had 122 yards last week and a hard-fought but nonetheless lost to Banneker. And they've kind of been finding some success with him, but you still see there looking at a third and very long coming up.
I like Booker T's uniform. It's got a little Duke vibe to it.
I do.
Yep. Obviously had Mays earlier. And
I mean,
it's undefeated.
Nothing's better.
It's undefeated. I told Matt, I may go by there one day just to dress out.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not look good.
Yeah, at the risk of coming across as less than totally impartial, I love Mace's uniform.
That baby blue and that helmet, something else.
Keep your eye on Jaden Heath. That's going to be number 7 way up the top of your screen. That's a guy I think they want to also try to get involved.
We have a delay of game or...
Got delay a game on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
So penalties have been a little bit of a problem for Washington. They had several of the encroachment penalties that aided the first touchdown drive for Douglas, and now backing themselves up more on a 3rd and now very, very long. Douglas shows you 4 men on the line of scrimmage. Jonte Gilbert, quick strike there to jam a receiver at the line. It's a completion for very little gain. Credit Joseph Rosser with the catch, but that's not going to do much to put a dent in the long yardage the Bulldogs needed for a first down. So now we're looking at a 4th and very long, and you'll assume that now Washington will come out and punt. And that's going to probably bring Jordan Turner, the running back, out to do that. He handled the last punt for the Bulldogs, and he's going to do that again.
Yeah, got Boykin back right here, return this punt, and 5'9" athlete, 170.
I think you and I are of the same mind, though. I was looking back there to see if it was going to be Gilbert that had a chance to do that. Instead, it's going to be Boykin. And Boykin gets himself a block and gets himself some yardage up to about the 47-yard line. So not a bad return by Boykin.
Got a flag now.
Okay. See Colquitt County last night, 47-27 over Stockbridge, our Breda Pest Management score ticker. Another look here at the return by Boykin. Does a good job of getting down, picking it up, and then avoided it. And listen, if you've never done that before, you have he makes it look a lot easier than it really is to pick up a football off the ground with a missile coming right at you.
And the reason I looked at who was back, not only you want to see Gilbert, who is a dangerous athlete, but when you start getting tired and you start playing a lot of plays and all of a sudden you got to cover, you got to run 30, 40 yards, that's when you start giving up chunk plays.
Got personal foul. PSK on the return team. 15-yard penalty. It's 1st down.
Yeah, I mean, handling the heat is obviously a very big part of the strategy here today. That, you know, you've only got the players that you've got. I'm talking about in terms of the size of the roster. You're going to have to play a lot of them both ways. You just simply don't have the luxury of playing, you know, a lot of guys both ways, or I should say a lot of guys on only one way. And how you handle that, how you keep guys as fresh as you can, finding rest for them if possible, trying to utilize those stoppages in play to add to that, that's all a part of it, as you see Douglas backed up after the penalty.
Interesting last night, Cass, go to that just play.
Wilson, the shotgun, the handoff up the middle to Kenyon Stocker. Stocker got a handful that time.
Now make sure I get this right. Rockmart and Cass played last night. Rockmart gets the ball, whatever happens, they punt the ball to Cass. Cass punts it back, scores, whatever. Rockmart gets it, comes back to Cass. The entire night, after 2 possessions, each team got a mandatory 3-minute water break. The entire night.
So everybody trying to do whatever they can. As you see Boykin get the reception, 3rd down now coming up. Everybody trying to do whatever they can to keep guys as safe as they possibly can.
And they said it took almost 4.5 hours to play the game. But you know what? Everyone's safe this morning.
Yeah.
And that's a small price to pay with something like that. But kudos to everybody around the state for doing this. And I'll say this, too, from Score Atlanta. I.J. Rosenberg had a phone call with him earlier in the week. He was already on it. We got misters on the sideline. Atlanta Public Schools helped with that. So it's a big deal for these kids to be able to stay cool as much as possible in between series.
On a 3rd down run, another good sequence for Washington. They're gonna force a 4th. Not much doing that time for Kenyon Stocker. So Washington is forced to 4th down, and decision coming up for Douglas. Going to be only about 4th and 1. So they're deep in their own territory. They got the luxury of keeping the offense on the field. For now, it appears that's what they're going to do. And Wilson's not wasting much time getting right back to it on 4th down. A little bit of drama right now.
Got a big cushion up top right here. The DB's off. You see what they need. See if they make that adjustment, or is he baiting him there just to throw one?
Let's see. They do run it, and it's straight up the middle to Stocker, and Stocker's going to move the chains. 3 receivers spread the formation out, and that softened it up for Stocker.
Yep, takes one out of the box.
So another well-designed play by Douglas to move the chains. This is a team that was winless in 2020. Stanley Pritchett takes over in 2021. Won 2 games his first year, 3 games last year, but didn't make the playoffs.
Fountain in on the tackle there.
Antoine Watkins getting a chance to carry it again. Yeah, we'll be watching Fountain all day. Number 3. I like what Justin Rivers told us this week, that, hey, I don't shy away from getting after him. Basically, he says to whom much is given, much is required. I'm going to coach him probably harder than anybody else for that very reason.
Yep.
Right now, both these teams kind of content to keep it on the ground for the most part. That's certainly what Douglas is doing. Pretty good effect here at the moment. Moving the chains again. Fountain standing up, number 3 on the left side of the defensive formation, coming after the running back. But nice carry and room to go. Here goes Jonte Gilbert, who takes the handoff, and he's going to take it to the 11-yard line. 39 yards on the carry for Gilbert.
Touchdown saving tackle there by number 11 from Washington. You see Gilbert foot in the ground, switch the ball, love that. And he's thinking I'm to the house, but number 11, I don't have him on my roster. Number 11 comes in.
We're in the red zone, by the way, presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Interesting to see Gilbert on that play lined up as kind of a traditional running back, too.
Yeah, you see him, he's tired, too, man. I mean, he's gassed right now. He's played a lot of plays. You see Coach saying, hey, we got to have more out of you, man. Don't be trying to take a break right now. He's like, Coach, I'm good, man.
Let's see the Douglas schedule here, presented by the Georgia Sheet Metal and Air Conditioning Contractors Association. Big rivalry win last week against Mays. Washington, obviously, right now, the continuation of that. Then when you talk about getting into region play, doesn't get easy with the Cedar Grove Saints there on October 31st. Obviously, a Carver team that we saw last night. We still expect to see a lot from defending state champion Sandy Creek in the 3A classification there as well. So a very tough region for Douglas.
Yeah, those last 3 games. I mean, that is the last 3 state champions. And Carver played for it.
That's
Cedar
right.
Grove and one Sandy Creek beat Cedar Grove.
That's exactly right. Well said. Yeah, it's almost like if Gilbert gives you the kind of play he gave you a moment ago, you almost can take him out of the game for a couple of plays, because if he gets you down there, you can let somebody else, lean on Watkins, lean on Stocker, and maybe they can get the ball in the end zone. If he can get you the big play, it's almost like you can give him a break, although he is going to come back in. Actually, check that. Yeah, he's back out.
And don't think for 1 minute when they watch film his boys aren't going to get him for getting caught. I don't care how tired. That tired don't go when film talk. They're going to say, hey, Mr. Superstar.
That's right.
You got caught.
Just like we were saying about Justin Rivers getting on Cam Fountain during practice.
Yeah.
These guys are not going to take it easy on him because he's a big-time prospect. You see Wilson, maybe a miscommunication there.
Yeah, there was miscommunication. Back went one way, quarterback went the other. He just tried to get what he could there. But, yeah, there's nothing that will humble you more than watching tape with your teammates, because they don't care who you are, how many offers, what your rank. If you get caught from behind, you're going to hear about it.
2 backs in the formation for Douglas. It's the handoff to Watkins. He's got room, and he's going to score from 10 yards out. Antoine Watkins.
I like him. Junior running back here. Hits the hole quick, got good vision. He's low to the ground, can run through arm tackles we've seen so far. Coach Pritchett knows a thing or two about running backs.
That's exactly right. Former fullback in his own right.
A little pin and pull. Good job there by the Douglas offensive line. Sealing off the 3 technique basically, and that hole was open.
Yeah, my guess is when Watkins gets downhill like that, trying to tackle him probably not a very fun thing to do.
Yep.
They're going to go for 2.
Open.
Wilson throwing back of the end zone and not able to hold on. Good coverage that time by number 11, who we said before we don't quite have on our roster, but good coverage nonetheless.
Man, he threw that late. His guy was wide open in the back of the end zone, and see him right there. Now you got to throw it, gives him time for 11 to get back. And the ball flowed a little bit. That's something on tape he'll learn. You got to turn that thing loose a little bit quicker.
Yeah, Harden, who had the first touchdown for
You see him saying, he's like, listen, you got to throw that. Can't wait.
All right, so it's all Astros right now, up 14-0. We'll take a quick timeout, and I got to tell you, the shade's coming in. It's starting to feel pretty good out here right now. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, does it matter if this leaks?
It don't matter to me. Can't see it from my house.
Illegal use of hands and proper training.
GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com has 14 different highly skilled trades with tuition free training in our certified apprenticeship programs to train you the right way. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting six figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back, we're gonna do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
Beginning the morning you opened your eyes, we spent every waking moment preparing you for the day you'd leave our nest. Whether it's driving to practice or helping with homework, it's all prepared you for, what am I going to be when I grow up? Will you be ready?
After much thought, I made my decision to take my talents to the IBEW Local 613.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers is not simply a job, it's a career. Visit IBEW613.org to begin a new future today.
And you see our score, 14-0 is our score. Douglas on top of Washington. Just adding to that lead a moment ago, Antoine Watkins with a 12-yard touchdown run. And the West Side Classic, Astros looking good here right now. Breda, pass manager, score taker, 9 plays, 86 yards, 4:36 off the clock. Capped off by the Watkins touchdown. Returnable for Washington. Trying to cut back right side is Warren. Warren gonna barely make it to back to the 20-yard line, though. So Bulldogs come back on offense, trying to get something going. It's their own running back. We've seen Watkins in kind of a starring role for Douglas. It's Jordan Turner on the other side for Washington. I think they'd like to get going here, too, but the bigger the deficit gets, the more that running game starts to get taken out of it a bit. Bulldogs lost last week, 35-22 to Banneker. Justin Rivers said, hey, we fought hard in the game.
Yeah, just trying to find what works for you. You have a scrimmage game in high school football, but you don't get the training camp of college and NFL where you get all that time. You're still working things out 3 or 4 games into the season. And you see, penalties and timeouts, confusion on the field. You see 2 players right there having a discussion.
Got timeout?
That's just early season things you see out of a team.
That is their second timeout of the half.
No, I think you're exactly right. Keep in mind, we talk about a lot of guys playing 2 ways. Tyreek Woods, the quarterback for Washington, is also a starting safety. So, yeah, kind of give you an idea of the challenge they're facing. I like the tag on the back of the helmet, be a dog. I like that.
Y'all got that just that bad? No joke, Kansas City? What we doing?
Yes, sir. 90.
Love the chance to hear in the huddle like that.
That's great, yeah.
Hey, calm demeanor. Hey, let's coach them up. Let's get everybody on the same page. Stay relaxed. a really, really impressive look there at the Washington sideline.
He gave 99 a route. See 99 lined up at the tight end up here at the top, so see what route he runs.
Woods going to send Joseph Rosser in motion now.
Delay.
Going to throw it to Rosser, but a couple of Astros are there to meet him, including Alonzo Clay. But as Rusty said, penalty may negate all that.
Kids got the jump man towels. It's a lot more swag now, man. I miss. This is what I miss. I would have been a swag guy.
I mean, back in our day, you're lucky if you had a starter jacket.
Dude, I had a pair of Newman gloves, wide receiver gloves. And
Got personal foul, face mask, on the defense, number 6. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Didn't matter if I was going to catch anything. I looked good in warm-ups. That's all that mattered.
The thing that I remember is, you know, guys like Garrison Hurst used to do athletic tape around their cleats.
Spat their shoes.
And then guys would want to do that. And coaches would get so mad because they're like, it's $10 with an athletic tape.
Yeah, Andre Hastings and Garrison Hurst could spat their shoes. Rusty Mansell was not putting tape on those Nike Sharks.
Here's the handoff to Turner. Turner trying to get a block.
Nice run.
Yeah, good run for him. Up to about the 47.
Tell you one thing we didn't have back in the day. You didn't turn your ankle on a Nike Shark.
No, that's exactly right. You did not
you
have
didn't
a lot
have
of
any of
that.
those foot injuries in that deal.
I said 47. I meant 42.
Nice job there. This is where they got to stay ahead of the chains. This is what Washington can do to get back in this game, is to stay ahead of the chains. Good pickup right there. Going to be second about 3. 5 minutes ago in the first half.
Turner now going to kind of move out as almost like a slot receiver. Woods now going to pitch it to Turner. Turner trying to find a block again. And I
think he got it.
Okay, yeah, they're going to say he got it.
Yep.
So creative usage of Turner, and that's going to move the chains again for the Bulldogs.
A penalty flag.
Well, let's see what that's going to be.
Illegal formation.
Oh, man.
On the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still, check it out.
So oftentimes, Rusty, when something like that happens, you know, you take your running back, you kind of move him over there. What is the most likely infraction in a situation like that?
Somebody was either covered up or not set there.
And you told us about this last week.
Yep.
You know, talk to us more about the idea of you got to have 7 guys in line of scrimmage, but with
also you got to have a certain amount of people in the backfield too. So I didn't see the actual formation. I was watching the guy in motion, but we'll look at this right here, and you see the guy here in the slot. He's off the ball, so he's eligible. The guy's on the ball at the wide receiver. Tight end was uncovered.
Woods giving chase. He's going to go down. Jaquan Fletcher there to bring it down. Ball came out. They said he was down, though. Fletcher gets credit for the sack.
The biggest thing, Brandon, you see on those plays is where the tight end winds up getting covered up because the wide receiver needs to be off the ball, and he winds up getting on the ball. And that's a lot of times you'll see that infraction as well.
So big loss after the Fletcher sack.
Man, they had 2nd and 2.
And then converted that, got the penalty, got backed up, and then you got the sack. Now you're looking at a 3rd and 11. Whistle blows again. And it's funny, you know, it's going to be 2 penalties in a row in which they've tried to put, I'm not blaming it on Fletcher, but or I should say I'm not blaming it on Turner, but they
false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
They're trying to get creative in putting their running back in a receiver type position. They've tried to throw to him here a couple of times or give him the jet sweep type play, and it's been procedural issues that have prevented that from happening.
Again, you know, not trying to make excuses for Washington, but you got so many kids playing both ways. You start that thinking, you start getting tired. That's when those mental mistakes happen. And let me tell you something. This is primetime heat these young men are playing in.
Douglas stacks the line, now coming after Woods. He's going to have to hurry, trying to set up the screen. And now he is running for his life back there, way back.
Throw it out of bounds.
Now going to throw it out of bounds. Good job by him just for avoiding what could have been a catastrophe.
Got a flag down at the middle of the field, so.
They're going to say intentional grounding?
I think they had a legal man downfield because he was scrambling so long.
We got another one downfield. On the offense, that penalty is declined. 4th down.
It's hard to tell those linemen not to move when your quarterback runs around. He's trying to make a play as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
He's trying to make a play as well, but the offensive linemen keep drifting, and next thing you know, you got a guard 12 yards down the field.
When, Douglas also sent a battalion on that 3rd down,
yes,
too.
They did.
So, Turner going to stay back there and punt. Different return man this time. That's Kenyon Stocker. Stocker lets it bounce and then takes a Douglas roll to the 49-yard line. So that's going to be good field position for the Astros. They're up 2 touchdowns. They've got the lead, and they got the football here with 2:49 to go, second quarter play. We'll be right back.
He starred in the hit show NCIS New Orleans. Daryl Mitchell opens up about the near-death experience that left him paralyzed. Plus, comedian Rodney Perry tells why his comedy career has not always been full of laughs. Sunday night at 8 on Peachtree TV.
The Peachtree TV Friday night game of the week. Carrollton versus Rome. Next Friday at 8 on Atlanta's own Peachtree TV. Every Friday at 8, watch the high school game of the week live. Sponsored locally by these sponsors.
Morgan & Morgan is not only America's largest injury law firm, we're also the only injury law firm in the world with lawyers licensed in all 50 states. With dedicated attorneys focused on personal injury, medical malpractice, insurance disputes, car crashes, employee rights, and many others, we have a 30-year track record of getting results for clients just like you. So wherever you are, whatever you need, our firm is ready to take your call. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Life's better when you're under our roof. Because when you feel totally protected, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. Save up to 27% when you bundle home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Great look at the Washington cheerleaders. Booker T. Washington trailing 14-0 right now, but a very spirited group and a great collection of fans from both sides here. Henderson Stadium, Midtown Atlanta, Midtown High School is where the stadium is located. We're right in Piedmont Park, just off 10th Street. You see the beautiful Midtown skyline in the background. This vantage point of the city of Atlanta, always so gorgeous to see.
Got the split again. See this? I got to make sure they got the guy on the ball.
And once again, going to try to soften up the middle, but Washington was having none of it. They were there to meet Marquavius Grimes.
Cam Fountain there.
Interesting to see a guy like Fountain who, maybe you think of as kind of a pass rushing type guy, but more than equal to the task against the run. A little orbit motion here from Douglas. Throwing that way. Pass caught. Dakari Carter. Carter on the move. Out of bounds at the 34-yard line.
Man, he had some different wiggle to him when he got the ball in space.
Carter's another one of these guys, a little bit like McCrary we were talking about before. Another kind of basketball guy who's kind of focusing in on football maybe.
Watch him put the feet on the carpet right here a little quicker than everybody else.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's just 5'7", 140 pounds, but a different type of gear. 3 catches last week. Gets his first today. Tipped at the line. Oh. Marvin Scott. Scott's another guy, Rusty. You're talking about, 6'2", 270 pounds. Pretty impressive defensive lineman.
Yeah, they dress out well. They're playing hard. It's just a numbers game for them right now.
Yeah.
Already back down in the 120 range on the field. It's shaping up to be a beautiful evening.
Darn near vacation.
Yeah, man.
And speaking of which, Marvin Scott, right on cue. I mean, that to me is a guy that looks pretty good in his uniform right there.
Yep. Nice job. It's going right through the back. Just blew through 7 there for Douglas. Unable to pick up that. Again, no credit to Grimes there. He's 160 pounds trying to block that defensive end, and
not exactly the same weight class.
Not exactly the old classification weight class there.
3rd and 13 now.
2x2 set.
Wilson gonna run, get out of bounds around the 32. So you got a couple. Gonna basically be kind of right back at the line of scrimmage. Now it's 4th down. My guess is Douglas stays out and goes for it. Yeah, so when you look at the thermometer there, how about 120 degrees down the field right now?
We had that thing pegged last game, so we're already cooling off, man. This is grab a blanket weather.
You see the pitch going to Harden. Harden's got a touchdown already, and on 4th down, did he stay in bounds?
Ooh, that spot's going to look like it might be a yard short.
From where I'm standing, it looks like it's going to be just, like you said, about a yard short, I believe. That's almost the same play they got the touchdown on earlier.
Fountain just could not get there. Yeah, I believe he's short. Yep. Good job there.
So this is a Washington defense that's doing its part to stay in this game, giving its offense a chance. Ironically, it was a high-scoring game last week for the Bulldogs. They lost 35-22 to Banneker, and right now they are kind of keeping pace in a game that's really played more in a kind of a defensive mindset, but they're giving themselves a chance, just looking for that big play offensively. Justin Rivers told us this week that they're blessed to be invited to this Great Atlanta Bash. Love being on TV. For a lot of these kids, he said this is the only game they'll ever play on television, so they treat it as a really big deal, and we're thankful to hear that because it's a big deal to us too.
Yep.
Once again, Turner was in motion, kind of a receiver, traditionally more of a running back, and they find a way to get him the ball, and he gets a couple that time, so they're doing everything they can to get the ball to Turner right now. You can't fault them for that.
A timeout. Washington. That is the 3rd and final timeout.
So with just 50 seconds left in the half, they're going to stop the clock. So obviously points here for Washington would be big before the half. And Rusty, I want to ask you about how they get those in a moment. But first, let's check in on the Washington schedule presented by the Georgia Sheet Metal and Air Conditioning Contractors Association. You start looking at an interesting region slate here for Washington as well. North Cobb Christian, obviously Mount Perrin just down the road. Terrell, of course, another.
Yep. You look at that schedule, and South Atlanta obviously lost a lot off that team last year we saw, which was really, really talented. Mount Perrin, Matt Ely, and those guys lost a tough game to Mount Pisgah, but they're going to be tougher. North Cobb Christian looks to have a really good young quarterback. I'm hearing some buzz about Best Academy lost last night to Midtown. So Midtown worthy of here of I mentioned we're in their stadium, Midtown High School.
They're still the Great Knights, right?
I think so. Yep.
Yeah, I think they're still the Great Knights. Woods now on 2nd down. Clock's a factor, just 50 seconds. Going to throw middle of the field. Not able to connect. Joseph Rosser was trying to run free, but he had good coverage that time by Sharon McKee, senior defensive back. So now you're looking at 3rd down coming up.
Was Ahmad Batman Carroll from Douglas?
You know,
I think he was.
Yeah, obviously ended up at Arkansas. I believe you may be right. That's
boy, he was a.
The older I get, the less the synapses fire at the same rate they used to.
He was a big time.
Absolutely.
Remember Garrison Smith went to Georgia?
Let's watch Jaden Heath, right side of the formation. Instead, they're going to go to Turner. Turner is going to be swallowed up right away. Douglas flies to the football.
A lot of speed over there. It's going to have to. You're going to ask about Booker. You're going to ask about Booker T. Washington in the second half. They got to find a way to go north and south. I don't think they can out-athlete Douglas out on the edge in space. I know they got a lot of kids playing both ways, but they're going to have to find a way to maybe have a long, sustaining drive where you 3, 4, 5 yard, maybe go for it for a couple times on fourth down and kind of establish the run, because I just don't think right now their edge players can make plays against Douglas out in space.
Yeah, you know, it's number 7 that I was saying before, Jaden Heath. I feel like he may be a guy they could get it to.
Correct.
They're just having a hard time getting enough time to do that right now. So, big rivalry battle, a lot of passion on both sides.
At the end of the second quarter.
And it's Douglas on top now. They beat Mays a week ago, trying to win another rivalry game here. They got 2 more quarters to get it done. We've got a halftime show for you coming up right after this.
Hendrick.
Drive now, pay later. Shop HendrickCars.com this month and make no payments for 90 days. Over 20,000 new and pre-owned vehicles. No payments for 90 days. Visit HendrickCars.com.
Planting season is here, and it's time to get your yard looking its best. So treat your yard to the perfect touch from the professionals at Personal Touch Lawn Care. Mowing, maintenance, design, and construction. Personal Touch Lawn Care does it all.
If my yard is taken care of, it's one thing off my list that I don't have to worry about.
Sign up now for monthly maintenance and get the 12th month free.
Big enough to serve you, small enough to know you.
Personal Touch Lawn Care, 770-908-1238 or online at ptlcatlanta.com.
Sweetheart, please don't forget to wear your seatbelt. I got it, Mom.
It's a really nice day, living in the right space. Breathing your grace, got me feeling some kind of way.
In the blink of an eye, so many tomorrows can disappear. Buckle up for your future, every trip, every time. A message from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
What does it mean when people say America is a land of opportunity?
It means the power to discover,
to redefine yourself,
to improve yourself,
to challenge yourself,
to realize there's more in you
than you ever knew
that you could do.
It means giving people an open field to explore what they do best.
With the best tools,
the best training,
the best technology in the world.
We bring out the best in the people who serve.
So you can be all you can be.
And welcome to our Sports Turf halftime show, coming to you live from Eddie S. Henderson Field. I am Kaylee Mansell, and I am joined by Jasper Jewell, the athletic director of the APS. Jasper, sad we couldn't have you here in person today. So awesome to have you on. First, I just want to take a moment to shout out the kids on the field today. It's the hottest day of the year, and you would never know that by the way they're playing. So your district has some kids that are putting up with a lot today, so I just wanted to shout out them first.
I thank you. I really appreciate that. The kids and the coaches have put in the hard work and the dedication, and it's showing today. I'm very proud of them.
And I want you to think back to when you first took over as athletic director. What sort of goals did you have in place for yourself and what you wanted to achieve as athletic director of the APS?
Well, it was quite simple. Being an APS graduate, you always have dreams and ambitions of seeing high school kids playing in some of the collegiate and professional stadiums, being exposed to certain national programs such as the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl and College Football Hall of Fame, things of that nature. So I think, in my 13-and-a-half-year tenure, we've done a pretty good job of exposing our kids to all walks and all facets of life. They had an opportunity to play in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which, of course, is arguably the best facility in all of the country. They've had a chance to play in Phillips Arena, which is now State Farm Arena, Truist Park, and just have those relationships with the Braves, the Falcons, and the Hawks. One of your I joke and laugh with him, but one of your broadcasters this weekend, a very near dear friend of mine, Chris Milman, he's done so much for Atlanta Public Schools, not only from an athletic standpoint, but just from a philanthropic standpoint in helping our school systems achieve their goals in literacy and other things. I can't thank him enough. It's been a wonderful 13-and-a-half-year tenure here with Atlanta Public Schools.
And as a product of the Atlanta public school system and within your time as athletic director, how have you sort of seen the culture around the APS athletic system shift?
Well, the culture has shifted in a lot of ways. You know, when I first got here back in 2010, the aim and the goal was to just, change the culture, make things safe for our student athletes, our kids, our coaches.
Understand that.
Our kids and our coaches, things of that nature. Just make things safe for them. Now that we've made facilities upgrades, and special thanks to my COO, my boss, Mr. Larry Hoskins, and the operations team, we've made those facility adjustments to better weight rooms, to turf fields, to track fields, things of that nature, so that we can at least be on a level playing field from a facility standpoint. Then we start focusing in on the little things, like uniform upgrades, like equipment upgrades, helmets, things of that nature. So now when we bring a prospective coach in, we have something that we can honestly offer them from a standpoint of being competitive with other large school districts right outside our area. And last but not least, because I'm a former athlete / former coach, more specifically a football coach, I care so much about these individuals, not just as the director of athletics, but as their friend. So I try to establish good relationships and friendships with those guys so that when I go on to the field of battle, going to their schools, going to their stadiums, going to their gyms, they know that I'm there because I care. And I've always cared. This is my 30th year of education. It has been a fantastic, wonderful ride. And I can't be more appreciative of the folks here at the Great Atlanta Bash, Sport Atlanta, I.J. Rosenberg and his team. They've been phenomenal partners to be able to put Atlanta Public Schools on the map the way that they did. I can't thank them enough for that. I mean, this is an idea that we had about 5 years ago, and we just chatted about it, and those chats became reality. And for me, and for that, being an APS product, that speaks volumes.
Well, we are in year 5 of the Great Atlanta Bash. This is the 3rd one that I've been a part of. But I want to talk about what could we see change about the Great Atlanta Bash in the future. Can you reveal any future plans to us, Mr. Jewell?
Yes, well, as you know, this year we were blessed and fortunate enough to reach out and get a perennial powerhouse such as Calhoun into the fray to be a part of the Great Atlanta Bash. So why it is called the Great Atlanta Bash, meaning I would mostly want to highlight the teams in Atlanta Public Schools, and we've been blessed and fortunate this year to highlight at least 4 to 5 of our teams. We're looking at expansion, and we're looking at reaching out to the other metropolitan districts that have some great things going for themselves. I can say that Clayton County, they're on the up and rise. Their district executive director of athletics, Mr. Gary Townsend, very close personal friend of mine, of course, with one of the deputy superintendents, Dr. Ralph Simpson. So we've talked about doing some partnerships that would allow Clayton County to also expand their wings and get on that map to kind of, achieve greatness as well. And I'm all for lifting as I climb. If I'm going to climb, I want to continue to reach back and lift and help others to climb with me.
Well, Mr. Jewell, we thank you for all that you've done for APS and for allowing us to host this awesome event that we look forward to every single year. Already can't wait to be back next year. Thank you for joining us. Guys, make sure to stay tuned. We will have a special message right after the break.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. all so you can enjoy the dreams you worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
If you are on the fence about ordering McDonald's, consider this a sign.
Mix and match a double cheeseburger, 6-piece chicken McNuggets, or small fries for just $3.69. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Morgan & Morgan is not only America's largest injury law firm, we're also the only injury law firm in the world with lawyers licensed in all 50 states. With dedicated attorneys focused on personal injury, medical malpractice, insurance disputes, car crashes, employee rights, and many others, we have a 30-year track record of getting results for clients just like you. So wherever you are, whatever you need, our firm is ready to take your call. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Go big or go home. It's your chance to test your knowledge and win cash. Peachtree TV is looking for contestants to appear on a new game show. Submit a short video telling us why you want to win and what you would do with the prize money. Scan the QR code to apply.
Welcome to today's episode of Talking Trades. I'm Ashley Rose. Today we're joined by Terry Newsom of the UA Local Union 72 plumbers, pipe fitters, HVACR technicians. Terry, explain a little bit about what all of that entails.
Well, we actually cover the plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, and the HVAC service techs. We have about 3,500 members total. We've been in business or chartered back in 1891, so wow. This year 132 years.
Wow.
So
that's amazing. And when you're looking for people to add every single year, what type of worker, what type of personality traits, characteristics are you looking for?
Somebody that just wants to work and work hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, show up every day.
Most important.
That's right. That's right.
Now, what type of jobs do you work on?
Hospitals, data centers, office buildings, pretty much everything out there. We don't really cover the residential side much, but pretty much anything up in the commercial world. So.
And how long have you been in the trades?
I've been in for 30 years.
Wow.
So
over your 30 years looking back, what's been probably the most impactful or most interesting project you've been on?
Probably the one that actually was out of state, out in Pryor, Oklahoma. So.
And what was that for?
That was for Google.
Okay.
That one there was a data center. So.
Oh wow. That's amazing.
Yep.
And talk a little bit about the benefits that one gets when they join the trades.
Benefits are great. You get your health care paid by the contractor. For every hour you work, it's paid by the contractor. You get a pension. So, once again, paid by the contractor, just for working. So.
And now a lot of people who are watching this program, they're in high school. So they're making the decision, do I go to college, do I go into the trades? What's one piece of advice, looking back over your 30 years, you'd give to your younger self saying this is the right decision?
It's the right decision because it's no debt, zero student debt. So you learn a skill, and nobody can take that skill away from you. It's yours forever.
Wow. So for these kids that want to find out more, where can they go to find out more?
They go to ua72.org, or you can call the office at 404-373-5778.
Terry, thanks so much for joining us today. That will do it for this episode of Talking Trades, but don't worry, because we'll be back next week.
Welcome back to the Sports Turf Halftime Show. What an awesome interview we just got to watch. Our good friend Ashley Carey could possibly go into labor tomorrow, so I wanted to give her a shout out. She is at home today, but still makes time for all of us here on the set. But in the meantime, I love these principal interviews, so I want to welcome in William Wade of Booker T. Washington and Forestella Taylor of Douglas. Principal Wade, I would like to start with you. How would you describe the Booker T. Washington community?
Thank you for having me, first of all.
Oh, you're welcome.
The Booker T. Washington community is made up of a group of very committed and dedicated and passionate alum. They play a big part in what we do. We have a governing team called the GO team, our governing body. They sit on that board, and they know we're totally transparent, and they know everything that we're doing for our children, everything that we plan for our young people. They have a voice, and I'm really appreciative of them being a part of Booker T. Washington High School, even though they've been out of high school for many years.
Miss Taylor, I feel like a lot of athletic teams have a motto or a message that they try to get the team to buy into. What is the motto for your high school, and how do you implement that into your everyday life?
Absolutely, and like Principal Wade, thank you so much for having us here. This year our motto is very simple: success through excellence, E3, everywhere, every day, everyone, and that includes our football team. We are so proud of our student athletes and all that they have accomplished thus far. They've worked extremely hard all summer long, but what I'm most proud about is their outstanding character. Yeah. They really buy into that vision. Currently, we have 80% of our varsity players having a GPA of 3.0 or higher. So when we're talking about excellence, we're talking about on and off the field. And so we're super proud of our Astros and all of our students in totality. But it's a great day to be out here in this historic game against the Booker T. Washington. Right. Go Astros.
And Mr. Wade, as an educator, I want to get your opinion on what do you think is the greatest problem facing education at the moment, and what is Booker T. Washington doing to accommodate for that?
Well, I can only speak about urban education right now, and the biggest issue or obstacle that we face is awareness. Okay. We want our greater school community, our parents, all of our guardians to know what we do and why we have standardized testing, why we have our certain bail schedules, why we do whatever we do. We have to let them know. Things that we know as educators, they don't know, but we do our very best through town hall meetings, through community meetings, to make them, to educate our families on what we do at the school. So if we can close the awareness gap, that makes our job just that much easier at Booker T. Washington High School.
Well, Principal Wade, Principal Taylor, I just want to thank you both so much for coming on. My mom is an educator, so these are some of my favorite interviews that we get to do. Yeah. I know it's not easy work, but I want to thank you both for everything that you do, not just for your schools, but for your community as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, guys. All right, guys, second half is coming up, so make sure to stay tuned.
This is a paid advertisement for legal services. Have you or anyone you know used a drug named Ozempic or Wegovy to treat diabetes or help aid in weight loss? These drugs have been linked to severe side effects such as stomach paralysis, persistent vomiting, and constant nausea. Do you or anyone you know have any severe side effects after taking one of these drugs? If so, do not delay. You may be entitled to compensation. Visit forthepeople.com or call the number on your screen now. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Do not stop taking a prescribed medication without first consulting a physician.
I may be known for my legendary football career, but truth is, I love a bunch of sports. The only trouble is knowing where to find them. That's why I got Xfinity, so I can easily find and watch whatever sport I'm into, all in one place without missing a thing. Even if it's football, Australian football, or football. In a word, it's Fitz-credible. I'm gonna trademark that one.
And this season, Xfinity Internet and TV customers can get up to $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube.
When you've been injured in a wreck like this, lawyers are going to call you and try to get you to hire them. That just means they're taking shortcuts. Do your homework before you hire a law firm.
Nah, we aren't those type of lawyers.
Stuart Miller Simmons, personal injury attorneys.
Life's better when you're under our roof.
I won't cry.
Because when you feel protected, you're free to enjoy your dreams. Bundle auto, home, and life and save up to 27%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
And we are back. Halftime, you see the score, 14-0. Douglas on top of Washington. Impressive performance of the Astros thus far in the event known as the Westside Classic, the final of 4 games here for our great Atlanta Bash, presented by Georgia Construction Careers.com. Brandon Adams, Rusty Mansell, and Obviously, Rusty, we're going to get a chance to look at these highlights here presented by the Mechanical Trades Institute. And I should say the halftime stats, I mean to say. You get a chance to see these. We'll see the highlights here. Presented by Ford. And you're going to see John Wilson there throwing. And that's Jonte Gilbert, the tremendous athlete, who got a chance to get things started there for Douglas.
Yeah, you're going to look right here at Stocker, the running back, he's made a couple of big plays for them. You see Douglas trying any way to get out in space. They do it again right here with Harden for a touchdown. That was early on to take the lead. And then you see Gilbert. And you see Gilbert right here a little bit gassed and tired. But you see that long speed from an athlete playing a lot of plays on both sides of the ball. This is a young man that's been impressive right here for me. Antoine Watkins, a junior running back at Douglas. Really like what I've seen out of him.
Unfortunately for Washington, though, just not able to get much going offensively. Then you got Dakari Carter in on the reception, and just a very, very impressive performance from a handful of playmakers. Now we'll see our halftime stats. I'm sure the truck's thrilled with me since I went out of order between stats and highlights. But nonetheless, the Mechanical Trades Institute bring the stats to you. And no way to kind of sugarcoat this for Washington. They're just trying to find something that works right now. Both teams had a little bit of an issue with penalties, but for Washington, really activating playmakers here, a little bit of a challenge through the first two quarters.
And that's not, 13 yards is a really bad look, but they've had 4 or 5 big negative plays that kind of negates what their total would have been. So got to find something. And listen, this is a game, obviously you're only 2 touchdowns down. You're only 2 touchdowns down with a half to go, but obviously you're doing a lot of work on trying to find something that you can use the rest of the season.
I'll tell you what impressed me on the Douglas side. We saw the highlights there a moment ago. A handful of plays for Jonte Gilbert, who's an elite college prospect. You're talking about a 4-star, number 35 player in the 2025 class. But on the offensive side of the ball, they've been able to spread the ball around to more than just Gilbert. Clearly, Watkins in the running game, as you mentioned, have done well, but they've gotten Darian Harden involved. You've seen Marcavius Grimes be targeted. You've seen McCrary be targeted. You've seen Dakari Carter get a nice catch. So, they've got the elite junior prospect in Gilbert, but they've also gotten a lot more than just that right now, too.
Yeah, I've been impressed with them, and defensively they fly around the ball. But I like what they're kind of showing some, different formations in the way to get the ball. Their playmakers are in that orbit motion. They throw the ball a little bit. I've been impressed with their quarterback. John Wilson does more. As a sophomore, looks pretty settled back there, can throw the ball, make you miss in space, extend plays. So interested, made a few notes on Douglas, but one guy that really popped, obviously you got Jonte Gilbert, but one guy that really popped to me is Antoine Watkins, the junior running back, number 24.
And you see the Washington cheerleaders there. They're hoping to have a touchdown to cheer for here in the third quarter. And as Rusty said, only down a couple of scores. This can still be anybody's ball game. So we'll do one more quick timeout. We'll come back and we'll give you second half action live from Henderson Stadium in Midtown Atlanta. It's the Great Atlanta Bash presented by Georgia Construction Careers.
Great teams are committed, focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear. Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their athletic abilities. Sports Turf is committed to bringing your team innovative sports surfaces with unparalleled performance. You bring the vision. Our team brings it to life.
Planting season is here, and it's time to give your yard the perfect touch from the professionals at Personal Touch Lawn Care. Why Personal Touch? Courteous service, attention to detail, and a desire to give you the best lawn in your neighborhood.
They have the knowledge and skills to do anything that I would need.
Call now for a 25% discount on design and consultation services.
Big enough to serve you, small enough to know you.
Personal Touch Lawn Care, 770-908-1238, or online at ptlcatlanta.com.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting 6 figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back, we're gonna do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
The Great Atlanta Bash is presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Transform your future today.
And welcome back. Second half about to get underway. Douglas on top of Washington, 14-0. The final game of our Great Atlanta Bash presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Brandon Adams, Rusty Manziel. Also a great collection of crew who've helped put this together today. Boy, a lot of heat out there. Camera men battling all of that, but they've given us some pretty shots all day long, really all weekend long. So big thanks to everybody who's made this come together. Craig Sager Jr., we've had him down the sideline. Najee and Kaylee and the entire team down there in our set. And, of course, a whole lot of fun there, too. So getting ready to get going here, Washington and Douglas. Third quarter action coming up. You see the Midtown skyline there in the background. You also see what a little bit more shade than we've had for most of the day. We'll get ready to kick things off here in just a moment. Next week begins our drive for the GHSA state title. We'll be up in Rome, Barron Stadium.
Hey, if you could play Phil Collins right now, I can feel it.
Tonight.
Let me tell you something. That place will be electric. I'm gonna take you for some barbecue Friday afternoon.
That. Yeah, I like that.
We're gonna get up there early, get our minds right.
That's right.
Huge game, great matchup, great quarterbacks. Obviously, Juju Lewis, now the USC commit, senior Reese Fountain. He'll get his fourth shot at Carrollton. I believe he's might be 2-1, and that's going to be a prime time 8 o'clock kickoff. We don't have to tweet that. We don't have to pub that. That's going to be a game. Everybody's going to sit down.
Find it.
People are going to find that one, and huge game. Joey King, John Reed, just well-coached teams. We had a chance to see Rome. And defensively now, I'm telling you, that's going to be – and then unfortunately, I want to say this about one of the best players in the state of Georgia with an injury last week, and Bryce Hicks.
That's right.
We all felt rough for him. You saw that, other players tweeting at him. You saw –
absolutely.
The respect around the state, and obviously sounds like he's done for the year, but that's a big piece of the puzzle that's out for Carrollton. So they're going to have to find some other ways to spread some things out, but it starts, no doubt, with that sophomore quarterback in Juju Lewis.
I thought relative to expectations, Rome was one of the most impressive teams in the Corky Dave Hunter Classic.
Yep.
Not that I didn't think they would be good, but they were probably even better than I expected them to be, as Washington get the ball to start the second half, and a nice return. Getting up near midfield, that's Jaden Heath. I've been kind of calling for Heath to have a big moment in this game, and maybe that's the thing that provides the spark that the Bulldogs need.
Got a player down for Douglas there.
Didn't see what that was. That's the traditional cramps that we've been dealing with.
And you have that situation, Brandon, where you come out. You don't want to bring them out too early because it's so hot.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get a proper warm-up, and next thing you know, you're running down the field at full speed.
I believe that's Sharon McGee, or I should say McKee, for Douglas, who's down. And unfortunately, Rusty, to my eyes there, it looks like they're treating him for something other than a cramp situation.
They're dealing with his knee there, and I just don't want to speculate and hope he gets up and
that's right,
just gets kind of banged up and goes on about his business.
We'll make this our injury report presented by Ford. Best wishes to McKee, who appears to be dealing with, we just get so used to seeing the cramp thing, and there's the telltale signs of that appears to be something different. And while we're waiting for an update on McKee and hopefully getting a chance to see him leave the field in a moment, you bring up something I think is important. One of the things that coaches have to deal with is the challenge of, what you do during halftime.
Correct.
Here at Henderson Stadium, you do have big, large locker rooms. They're very close to the field, so it does give the teams a chance to go back.
Yep.
In some cases, that's not always the way that halftime operates, but here you do have that opportunity at least.
Interesting. I asked a couple people, talk about locker rooms. So Georgia's going to play at Vanderbilt. Obviously, they're expanding. I was told that Georgia is going to have to walk to a nearby hotel at halftime.
Wow.
Man, that's now,
crazy.
Listen, Vanderbilt's going to be really nice when they finish their update.
And once again, that's your injury report presented by Ford. I'm sure Kirby Smart was happy to hear
that discussion was that thing's already probably been Google mapped on how many steps it is.
There goes Turner. Nice gain for him. We hope to be able to give you more information about McKee here in a moment.
Let's talk about locker rooms. I'm just that kind of got my mind going about a locker room that's getting fixed and those types of things. But
a lot of those Vanderbilt folks are pretty frustrated right now. But the fact that stadium renovation has lasted as long as it has.
I think what the weather too, what they said got behind. They had supply issues. So at the end of the day, when they're done, everybody's going to be happy. But
they should have had Georgia Construction Careers up .com up there.
We'd have had Randy up there. That thing, Randy would have been done, and
would have been on time and under budget.
We'd already been playing golf and celebrating right there.
Hit in the backfield. Another big tackle in the backfield, that time by Jaquan Fletcher. He's been busy in the backfield a couple of times today. It's going to bring up third down.
Yeah, shout out to Randy and Georgia Careers Construction and all they've done for not only this weekend, but what they do for us and high school football, Friday nights, and
just one of the easiest guys to talk to you'll ever meet.
He is. Tell you what now, a man follows recruiting. When he catches me, it's going to cost me 10 minutes.
Rosser was in motion, and the eye candy there may have been enough to draw Douglas offside. At least that's what Washington thinks and hopes. We'll see if they end up being right about it. I believe they're going to be, yep.
Got a little momentum right here now. Got the ball now in Douglas territory. It's a great way to start the first half.
Yeah, it's going to move the chains, give them a fresh set inside Astros territory. So a little bit of spark here to begin the third quarter for Washington.
And Brandon, a point here, this is probably the freshest they're going to be the rest of the day. So coming out of the half, you want to capitalize on that. Hydrated, got a little bit chance to cool off, got a little bounce to your step. You see them hustling up to the line of scrimmage.
First down now. Two receivers right side. Woods looking that way. Now throw it middle of the field, and it's going to be intercepted. Alonzo Clay was there to pick it off.
He's got some room up the wide. That's an upside.
Yeah, he's going to
line.
get a caravan of blockers. Flag does come in. Now a little bit of a scuffle over the sideline. Let's pull everybody apart over there.
Another flag in.
But Alonzo Clay gets the interception. Nice play for the junior, and flags are flying in.
Yeah, they're just tossing flags everywhere, so we're going to have a lot of discussion here. But going back to that play, that ball just floated a little bit, and you want to see a picture-perfect play on a ball, and you hear that point all the time, Brandon. Go high point the ball. Watch this defensive back right here go up, and you're going to see him jump over. Look at that. Basically cut the wide receiver off and go get it.
Yeah, Quindarius Warren was the intended receiver. Clay, as Rusty said, just went and got it. And there's a lot of football left, but that's obviously a discouraging moment for Washington, just given the momentum they had built coming out of the locker room to begin the second half.
Yeah, you get that, and you got the ball there on what they're on the 40, 44, 40, 46-yard line there going in. And
a couple of notes from our Breda Pest Management score ticker, Rusty. How impressed are you with Marietta bouncing back with a win last night after a loss?
Because I'm going to tell you, and I think Rich Morgan would tell you, that's a very talented Norcross team, who, by the way, lost to Mill Creek. But I'll tell you this, they let an egg up last week at Mercedes-Benz, and I think they'll be the first to tell you. But the bounce back last night against a really good West Forsyth team, a well-coached West Forsyth team, Chase McGravy and that team, got some experienced kids, and that was a big win at home in overtime, 20-19, because you know their schedule. They got Buford in a couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah. No days off.
They got Walton.
And then how about two teams that hung big numbers? Speaking of Walton, to beat Brookwood as bad as Walton did last night, Rusty, that team's on a different plane right now. Different plane than it's been on. Maybe for the moment, and I know that Buford's playing a little bit different kind of schedule right now. They're playing the national opponents, but I mean, Walton is just on a different level right now.
I'll tell you this. I'll say this right now. If they played Friday night in a neutral site and the people that put lines, max preps, whatever, it might be a 1 or 2 point game. Buford might be a 1 or 2 point favorite right now.
Keep in mind, of course, Walton beat Buford in the playoffs a year ago in the second round. And then the other impressive score, you know, people talk about maybe not quite being the same makeup team-wise they had obviously a season ago, but what Hughes did last night in collecting a big victory, just another, they just week after week after week, they just pile on points.
I'm telling you, with Aaron Nolan.
Got personal foul, blindside block, on the return. That would be a 15-yard penalty from the flag. After the play, we got dead ball, personal foul. On 55 blue, he is ejected.
Okay, so we've got a disqualification here in this game. That's
had-
a Montez Mitchell.
He had to swing then at some point.
Yeah, so you obviously hate to see that.
Yep.
And yet, Rusty, here's the thing you know, because you've been on sidelines like this before. It's so hot down there. Everybody's in kind of a salty mood. And you do have to step in a situation like that, pull guys apart quick. I'll credit these officials and the coaching staffs. They did just that. You know, clearly, you know, that didn't become more than it was. And obviously, you know, apparently Mitchell did something he was not supposed to do. He's going to be out for the rest of the game now, but they're going to really step in there and try to maintain order in this game, so you have to credit the officials for doing that.
Correct. And not only you lose a play, you lose a two-way starter. He was playing a lot. Big 55 was playing defensive tackle and center there, so that's not a great situation there. And as you said, you get a big man. Listen, I don't condone anything, but you got a big man rumbling.
Yeah.
He gets to the sidelines. If there's any ounce of somebody having some altercations, a lot of times it's those big guys, and
so as Rusty
he'll
said,
learn from that.
And as Rusty said, that's your starting center on Washington, so that's going to be worth watching when they go back on offense.
Correct.
Again. They got playing a ton on the defensive line too, so it's like losing two players.
Double team and Fountain.
Wilson going to throw, and they return the favor, and they get the interception. And how about that for the starting quarterback, Tyreek Woods, helping his own cause on defense.
Man, Cam Fountain split a double team and hit the quarterback. Now, he's tough. He's having a hard time getting up right now. But you want to watch a Division I high-level defensive end. Watch him split this double team. He's the one that hits the quarterback that causes that ball to come out short. Watch him at the top of the screen. You're going to see number 3 flash in right here and hit him. And it just causes the ball to wobble and go short. An interception for Douglas. Good job by Cam Fountain, showing why he's that highly rated and had that many offers.
So Woods, his coach Justin Rivers says, an all-around athlete. He's really a safety that's even kind of got, we haven't seen this much today, but kind of a hard-hitting safety. A guy that's a really willing, you know, he'll put his face on you back there. And he's in the right place at the right time to haul in that interception.
Now here we go. Who we're going to play? Who's going to play center now? They're going to look and put in number 60. Is that 52? I believe that's 52. Good snap.
Yeah, it looks like
Jamarius Hunter, a sophomore.
Timeout, Washington. The first timeout of the half.
I believe that might be 62, which would be Jaheim Ray.
Yeah, I believe that's who it is.
62.
Rusty. Yeah, that's who it is.
Yeah.
All right, so center switch now for Washington, but they got the football, and that's what matters is the third quarter is just getting underway. We'll be right back right after this.
Hi, everyone watching at home. We're here to remind you that if you or someone you know were injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have live agents available right now to answer your questions and tell you how much your case is potentially worth. Hi, I'm Gina Bellich, here with spokesman and TV personality Tom Mustin with us in the Help Center. So, Tom, phones are really busy over there. Tell us what kind of calls you're seeing.
Well, Gina, first off, thank you for having me here in the call center with you. We always enjoy talking to the viewers and getting folks the compensation that they deserve. You know, we're seeing calls about all kinds of accidents, but the most common by far has been car accidents. So if you or someone you know were injured in an accident that was not your fault, give us a call right now. You'll speak with a live person. They'll answer any questions you have and tell you if you have a case and how much your case is potentially worth.
Thanks, Tom. All right, folks at home, you heard it. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now.
We don't have to scream, we steam. Or remind you of the thrill that comes from Crystal hot off the grill, hands seasoned and cooked to perfection. Crystal, now you know.
Have you used a drug named Ozempic or Wegovy and are experiencing severe stomach issues? If so, do not delay. You may be entitled to compensation. Visit forthepeople.com or call the number on your screen now. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Adams, Rusty Manziel, second half action as Douglas is on top of Washington 14-0. But Washington got the turnover, got the ball back. We're also watching for a change here with the Washington offensive line. Montez Mitchell was ejected after an interception a moment ago. And we're led to believe that he'll also miss the next game, too, because of that,
week too,
by
so
GHSA rule.
Yeah, that's a tough situation there to miss a half and then the next game. Hard lesson to learn.
So just 1 yard on that carry for Washington. Good look there at the quarterback, Tyreek Woods. It was actually his interception playing as a safety. They got the ball back for the Bulldogs right now, but same situation that it's been. The team in blue looking to find an offensive spark that it can maintain.
First time I've seen Cam Fountain's in now. He's going to play tight end. See him putting his gloves on.
Yeah, I believe these are his first offensive snaps of the game,
I
believe.
seen, yeah, but I kept thinking you're going to put this guy in, so they got him lined up right here, attached at tight end. See if they go to him.
Instead, Wood's going to now roll back left and just have to throw it away. He was looking right and then forced back left because of pressure.
Yeah, he had no time. He had no time to look. They did run Fountain on a route out of the attached tight end position, and you don't have time to process when you have 3 or 4 guys on you immediately.
Yeah, Fountain did not have really much in the way of offensive involvement last week in the game against Banneker, so this may be an example of just got to try to do anything you can at this point. Got to look at 3rd and 9 now. Once again, Turner, the running back, going to become more like a slot receiver. Jaheim Ray, remember, is the recently inserted center. Pressure coming. Wood's going to have to hurry. Boy, he's back. Oh, he's in trouble now.
Oh, man.
Went back into the end zone to try to avoid the pass rush. Lucky to get that away.
Did that get back to the line of scrimmage?
I believe it
did.
I believe it did.
Yeah, he asked him. The referee, the white hat asked him.
Not by much,
Not
but it
by
did.
much. Man, that was close to being intentional grounding as well from the end zone.
Yeah, so Woods about got himself into trouble there. As it stands, it's still going to be 4th down. So both teams trade turnovers, and Washington not able to capitalize on its interception a moment ago, and that brings Jordan Turner back to punt again. Douglas has been rotating a little bit with the return men that it's had in. They'll kind of do that again right now. Back deep to receive, but the ball's going to go dead.
Been some pretty good punters today.
Yeah, they have. Quintavious Boykin doesn't get a chance to do anything with that, but Douglas does get the football back. Yeah, Turner's a good athlete. While we have a moment, let me tell you about my friends at Breda Pest Management, because nobody wants unwanted guests taking up residence in their homes. And in this case, I'm not talking about your in-laws. What I'm talking about are critters. And when it comes to keeping those critters out of your house, there's only one company I would call. That's our friends at Breda Pest Management. So we certainly appreciate Matt Breda, the entire team at Breda Pest Management, for being a part of high school football coverage. Great dedication to everything that this sport is about here in the state of Georgia.
Straight ahead there for about 11, 12. I wonder if you're going to see
Just to see a body's just
I just
moving.
wonder if you're going to see Douglas right here just go shoe to shoe. They got 3 backs in the backfield. Got a sniffer right here.
Low snap. Hand going to go to Grimes.
Yeah, they're
and Marcavius Grimes goes barreling ahead again.
5 yards a pop right here against a tired, now down a man Washington defense.
So 2nd down now. Once again, the hand of Grimes. He's going to try to outside.
Good job there.
Going to bring up 3rd down.
Nice job, 5 there. Cornelius Kemp to come up.
Kemp, a 4.2 GPA.
Awesome.
Terrific leader of this defense. Kind of helps get everybody lined up. Had 15 tackles last week.
Man, that is impressive.
I don't know that we had a 4.2 GPA combined.
I don't know together we did. We counting P's?
Yeah.
I would have needed to have. Counting the old typing.
Boy, Douglas is not in any hurry at all
No,
right
not
now.
at all. No. This is 2-down territory as well, and they're just
looking at third down.
Good job there.
Good job by Washington.
Yep.
So Jonte Gilbert, the terrific 2025 athlete, was the running back, and Washington swarming to the ball.
Yeah, never got going because they had penetration. It started with Fountain coming off the edge, and then he had a couple of his teammates follow him. But Gilbert never got going. See that? They were all on him immediately. Never got a chance to show that speed outside. 4th and 5. Let's see if they go. They're counting people here. Gilbert's counting, so they may punt this. Started down to 7, so they may take this penalty.
We haven't seen Douglas punting yet today, have we?
I don't think so. You don't take a penalty and back it up.
It will be Gilbert who does.
The clock is expired, play clock.
Yeah, so they'll take that every second they can get and then back up, and that 5 yard
game on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
That 5 yards won't make that much of a difference on that. It's Jaden Heath back to receive for Washington. Gilbert gets a high one. A little bit short. Going to bounce inside the 25, roll dead right there around the 23. So the Washington defense is hanging around.
Nice job there. When it looked like they were about to get manhandled, they bowed up and stopped them.
They absolutely have. So Bulldogs get the get the football coming back, down 2 scores. We will see what they can do with it right after this.
Beginning the morning you opened your eyes, we spent every waking moment preparing you for the day you'd leave our nest. Whether it's driving to practice or helping with homework, it's all prepared you for, what am I going to be when I grow up? Will you be ready?
After much thought, I made my decision to take my talents to the IBEW Local 613.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers is not simply a job, it's a career. Visit IBEW613.org to begin a new future today.
Sweetheart, please don't forget to wear your seatbelt. I got it, Mom.
It's a really nice day, living in the right space. Breathing your grace, got me feeling some kind of way.
In the blink of an eye, so many tomorrows can disappear. Buckle up for your future. Every trip, every time. A message from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
The Georgia Sheet Metal JETC provides apprentices with free training and careers that are stable and essential to the operation of the modern world. Both craft jobs and management positions offer lucrative pay with benefits as well as the stability of a growing industry. Skilled journeymen in the sheet metal industry are essential to our community now and in the future. Learn more about free technical training with no student debt at our website, careersinsheetmetal.com.
The GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com Great Atlanta Bash is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. Seatbelts save lives. The Governor's Office of Highway Safety reminds you to buckle up before every trip. The U.S. Army, be all you can be. The Mechanical Trades Institute, the best kept secret everyone should know about. Smart Local 85, sheet metal is a smart move. And by Gatorade, fuel tomorrow.
5:42, third quarter of play. Washington has the football again, trailing 2 touchdowns and trying to get back in it here in the West Side Classic. Wonderful rivalry in Atlanta between Washington and Douglas. Nice run there by Turner. Big hit there at the end, but he's going to move the chains and keep moving his feet and get across the 35-yard line. Jordan Turner, big run. Got a little bit of a microphone issue for Rusty. We'll see if we can get that taken care of. We'll get him back going here again in a minute.
My back?
Yeah, there you are.
They put me in timeout. Wouldn't be the first time.
It's kind of like you ever watch the ESPN show Around the Horn. When they get tired of us, they just mute us from now on.
Mute us.
So Wood surveying the situation here with a fresh set of downs. He's got a couple receivers off to the right side. 5 across defensively for Douglas. They creep a couple more to the line of scrimmage there, too. A little bit of an option play to Turner. I haven't quite seen that look yet today.
They're trying to show something a little different there. Optioning the boundary. Gilbert comes up. Stops that play for about a 1-yard gain at the most.
4:44 to go. Looking at 2nd and 9. Turner's going to have to come out of the game now. Sun briefly goes behind the clouds, and it almost gets pleasant when it does that.
Let that cloud hang around for about an hour or so. Pull up a seat. Hang out a while.
No question. Woods wants to set up a screen, but he's going to have to hurry. Shakes free of the pass rush. Now he may just run it. Instead, going to be tackled, wrapped up by Andreco Griggs, the sophomore linebacker.
I'm telling you, if you looked at the GPS vest on that, he just ran about 35 yards for a gain of maybe 2. But still a good job to get out there. But he runs all the way back to the 18-19, then comes all the way back up to the around the 34.
So it's 3rd and 9.
Got to hurry, play clock down to 5.
Yeah, I'm not sure they see that.
Timeout. No, they don't see it.
Yeah, on 3rd down, too. They're going to end up losing 5 yards on that because I don't think they got one called.
Nope.
You don't want to use a second half timeout either, but
On the offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
that 5 yards is valuable, and they lose it. So back them up. Make it 3rd and longer. Haven't really hit the big play through the air yet. Do they have that here in this spot? Wood's going to try. Going to get the completion. It's 35 and down to the 37, up to the 37. Cornelius Kemp, the running back, and really all he does is kind of get back to the original line of scrimmage. So you're looking 4th down here on your side of the field. Basically a full 10 to go, basically.
Yeah, nice play there by Jameer Morton, a senior outside linebacker. He's got the back coming out of the backfield in space, a little swing pass to him, hoping he can make him miss and you get something out of it, but Morton quickly gets the Washington running back to the ground for maybe a loss of 1.
For Washington, a guy going to come on late.
They better hurry.
Yeah, clock down to 4, now 3, 2. They do get it off. Turner gets the punt. Ooh, going to go out of bounds. If it could have bounced for him in bounds, it might have given him a nice little roll. But instead, it's going to go out of bounds to 43 and become pretty good field position for Douglas. So it's interesting if you're the Astros right now and Coach Stanley Pritchett, a very deliberate pace on the last offensive possession. But if you go that route and don't get it, then you're keeping Washington in the game. Any chance you think about saying, okay, we got less than 15 minutes of game time left. How about we try to get aggressive, go up 3 scores, and essentially end the game?
He's probably pretty confident right now in his defense from what they've shown. But, this number 10 that you talked about earlier in the game, McCrary, the 6'4" receiver at the bottom, he's going to be one-on-one right here.
It's going to be a running play, though. Kenyon Stocker.
Sooner or later, you might just take a shot with number 10. But the way Pritchett's doing things right now, he's content with that clock running because he trusts his defense.
Of course, Pritchett, the Douglas grad himself, he says, this is the program that developed me into the man I am today. No one kind of bleeds Astro gold and black more than Pritchett does, back at his alma mater as head coach. Been there since 2021. Pass intended for Quintavious Boykin, but not able to connect. That's going to bring up third down.
Yeah, not real efficient right there because, number one, you don't want the clock to stop if you're going to do this, but 3rd and 8.
This is a Douglas team that was winless in 2020, but in the playoffs a year ago. Now, obviously only the 3 wins, but a playoff team nonetheless. So Pritchett inherited a big rebuilding job, and he has been working hard to get that done. Wilson going to run, bounces outside, now throwing, and they move the chains there with connection to Quintavious Boykin. Oh, they're going to say incomplete.
Man, that was close.
Yeah, kind of a bang-bang play.
Yeah, in and out there. Almost, you pass the line of scrimmage right here. Watch this throw. See the yard marker?
Ooh, yeah, very close there.
Yeah.
And that, it's tough to tell from that angle, but boy, if Boykin didn't catch it, he sold it pretty well.
Correct.
Now, obviously,
my opinion there, I think he was past the line of scrimmage, so it kind of negates that.
Is that the ball don't lie situation for you?
Ball don't lie.
All right, so now you're looking at a 4th down. Jonte Gilbert going to be back in a punting situation again.
I'm going to water him down, but it looks like a...
We got timeout. Douglas.
Yes,
that is their first timeout of the half.
Douglas calls a timeout here with 1:38 to go in the 3rd quarter. They're looking at a 4th down. Jonte Gilbert is going to be at the punt. Scores continue to roll through from the weekend. Last week, I think you and I declared that we had the first game in the country to begin the 2023 season.
I'm pretty sure we
Are
did.
we on safe ground to say that we have the final game in the country for this particular weekend? Would you feel comfortable saying that?
No, because I'm going to correct you right here. You go about 3 blocks over, and Creekside is playing St. Peter's Prep
tonight
at Morehouse.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah.
My apologies.
Yeah. Now, we might have been the hottest game around the
May
country
have
today.
that, yeah, when we played that.
Yeah.
Obviously, Creekside playing the national opponent at home this week. And, what's funny about Creekside is they don't have a tendency to play a ton of home games. They play a lot of away games typically. They're going to do that against St. Peter's this week before going out to face modern day number 1 team in the country, theoretically, next week in California.
Yeah, they're going to leave Thursday.
So Jaden Heath is back to receive the punt. He had a nice kick return earlier. Washington looks like they want to come after this. It's going to hit the up man.
Yeah.
It hit the up man, and I believe that was accidental. I don't believe that was an intended fake. I believe that was accidental. And either way, Mikhail Fife, the sophomore, heads up play by him to jump on the football, and all of a sudden Washington's got as good a field position as it's had all night long.
Yeah, that's a big momentum swing. Now you got the ball on Douglas' side of the field. Let's see this in replay. Look at the tight. Oh, man, he didn't get out of the way. So he's the one that signals the long snap. You see him give the signal, but you got to back up at some point, get completely out of the lane. And he hit the up back, Antoine Watkins.
95 seconds, 3rd quarter of play. Biggest opportunity that Washington's had since hard to remember when. Woods at quarterback. A lot of beef along the line of scrimmage for both teams. Woods takes a high snap, and he is in trouble, and he is not going to go anywhere. Sharon McKee, who left with injury earlier but back in now, he's there to get the sack. So if you're a Douglas fan, you love the sack, but everybody loves the idea of McKee back in the game.
Man, they were all over them. Look, they had a complete blitz.
I mean, that was just trench warfare.
They were coming. Douglas did not sit back and say, hey, y'all want some good field position? What can you do with it? Because we're going to go ahead and put you back on our side of the field.
So you lose 7 on the play, under a minute to go 3rd quarter. Woods takes his time to get to the line. You saw McKee on your screen. He had the sack a moment ago. It's 2 receivers left. New running back in for Washington. Woods bumps into him. Now just has to dump it away. That was a little bit of a mess. First time we'd seen Marquavius Pittman in as a running back. And a little bit of discombobulation there.
Got a flag down. Late flag. He is pointing toward Washington.
We'll see what the call is, but the indication is it's against the Bulldogs because they are backing up.
Grounded on the quarterback. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's also a loss of down.
Still in the pocket.
4 down.
So, I mean, we would both agree that Woods, unfortunately, has been kind of flirting with an intentional grounding a couple of times.
And the ball didn't get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Excuse me, that's 3rd down. Excuse me, that's 3rd down.
So we had been asking ourselves a little earlier, you know, did a ball get back? And maybe it just did, just barely in this particular case, so it did not.
That's why it was so late. They discussed it with the side judge, I'm sure.
All right, so after the loss of down, now you're looking at 3rd down. This drive after the miscue by Douglas on the punt, which gave Washington good field position, is going the wrong direction. The Bulldogs pressure coming again. Woods just going to step right in and now take off and run. He's got some room down the sideline, cuts back in, and gets to the 36-yard line. So a nice run.
Man, nice run there. Look, he's gassed. But he breaks contain. Here they are in man coverage, and nobody's out here. Poor angle there by the linebacker, and he does the rest. Gets this thing to a close shot, Brandon, of 4th and 5.
Yeah, I mean, you know, much better field position you were. Kind of back in this good situation again with after the opportunity on the special teams miscue by Douglas. So when we come back to begin the 4th quarter, we'll have a little bit of drama. Washington will have the football, 4th down in Douglas territory, needing a couple scores to tie this thing up. Fun final 12 minutes of our Great Atlanta Bash takes place right after this.
He starred in the hit show NCIS New Orleans. Daryl Mitchell opens up about the near-death experience that left him paralyzed. Plus, comedian Rodney Perry tells why his comedy career has not always been full of laughs. Sunday night at 8 on Peachtree TV.
The Peachtree TV Friday night game of the week. Carrollton versus Rome. Next Friday at 8 on Atlanta's own Peachtree TV. Every Friday at 8, watch the high school game of the week live. Sponsored locally by these sponsors.
I'm Dr. Rod Edmond, attorney and physician. If you or your loved one has uterine, ovarian, or other types of female cancers and have used hair relaxers or straightening products, call Edmond and Lindsay today. The hair and beauty industry is negligent and is responsible for many of these cancer cases. They knew about the harmful effects but chose to keep selling these toxic products simply out of greed. For a free initial consultation, call Edmond and Lindsay at 404-525-1080.
At Ingles, we're proud to partner with area athletics. From Little League to the pros, college tournaments to high school heroes, it's all in the bag.
Good, go, all the way!
Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
We don't have to scream, we steam. Or remind you of the thrill that comes from Crystal hot off the grill, hands seasoned and cooked to perfection. Crystal, now you know.
Fourth quarter about to get underway here. Douglas on top of Washington, 14-0. Bulldogs, though, do have the ball, and they've got a 4th down opportunity to move the chains and see if they can cut into this lead and find their way onto the scoreboard for the first time.
Got Cam Fountain attached at line of scrimmage up top. Oh, my goodness, no. Uh-oh.
Got false start.
Oh,
Oh, man, that's going to be a killer.
5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
That's going to be a killer. You know, you had the nice run by Woods, the quarterback, to conclude the quarter.
To give
that
you a
made
chance.
4th down much more manageable. And I believe this is going to send the punt team on. So an absolute backbreaker for Washington.
Tell you what, we've seen several fakes this week. Maybe they got one in.
Yeah, keep in mind, if you're just joining us, Turner, the punter, is the starting running back. So if anyone's got the ability to do it, it would be him. If you're Douglas, you got to think you're on guard for that too.
Yeah.
He gets it away. Going to be kind of a short punt.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, be careful there. Wait, was it?
I don't know.
If it's touched, it can't be returned.
No, the way they're reacting, I don't know that was touched.
Yeah, Boykin got close to it, but you cannot return that.
You can't even get close to that. And Boykin right now does not want to go to the sideline and see Coach Prince.
No.
You cannot even.
This is 2 weeks in a row we've seen an issue as relates to that.
You can't even come close to that ball.
Yeah, we've seen that issue 2 weeks now. The officials are talking about it.
Man, he's going to the sideline right now. They're waiting on him.
We got blue first touch right here. It's going to be white ball going that way.
Okay, so they're going to say that Washington touched it first. Now, it's interesting language there. They didn't say that, that Boykin didn't touch it. They just said that, as they call it, blue, meaning Washington touched it first. So that may be the most fortunate break Mr. Boykin's ever gotten right there.
My goodness. Just can't do that. And he knows he knows better than that. And he can go to the sideline and give every excuse he wants, but that coaching staff's going to remind him, get away from the ball. They give it the Peter call. Peter.
That's right.
Means everybody get away. You could hear it from up here.
There's just no benefit to it.
No benefit, no.
I mean, in some cases you'd say, well, I don't want the ball to, roll to the 5-yard line, but that's not what that was in danger of doing there. So it's John Wilson back out. He's going to hand. That's Watkins. Not much doing middle of that defense. DeQuavius Glass, one of the defensive linemen, in on that stop.
When you're running so fast toward the ball that you have to leap it, you don't have a lot of defense. he had a certain pace going to him, and he had to hurdle the football not to touch it.
All right, 2nd 10. They may have drawn Washington off. They've had an issue with some of those encroachments earlier, and I believe that's going to be another one.
On the defense. Still, take it down.
Offside. Defense.
So a couple of penalties here in the last minute alone have ended up being a real problem for Washington. John Wilson, the quarterback, is in no hurry whatsoever. Douglas trying to finish off a 2-0 start for the first time since 2019, and both of them will be special because they're both rivalry wins. High pass over the head of Adonis McCrary.
He has been wanting that pass the entire game. Just overthrown. A little miscommunication there. I think he thought he was going to run the fade route. He stopped.
You can see why, though, they want. I mean, at 6'4", you can see why they want to try to turn him into something. And I believe before this season's done,
no doubt,
he may very well be.
As the year goes on, he's going to be more involved in this offense.
On 3rd down, watch number 1 right there at the bottom of your screen, bottom left-hand corner. That's John Tate Gilbert, the 2025 4-star. Instead, it's a handoff to Watkins. Watkins following a blocker, still on his feet, 30. Slammed down right there near the first down marker, but I believe he's going to be a little bit short. Are they going to say got it?
Yeah, I believe he got it.
Okay.
I believe when he got the momentum, when he tackled him, just kind of rolled him for the next couple of yards.
Watkins has had tough, hard yards all day long.
Yep.
Yes, a fresh set here at the 31. Wilson steps away from pressure, now moving. And he's going to pick up another first down. And Douglas is getting everything he wants right now. Keep your eye on the Breda Pest Management score ticker rolling underneath. Good private school battle last night. Pace Academy beats Westminster 33-31.
Yeah, big game there.
Callaway wins 27-10. It was actually Callaway that eliminated Douglas in the playoffs last year. More of Antoine Watkins. As we've been telling you, our drive for the GHSA state title begins next week. Rusty, we've seen 2 weeks of action. Reset the storylines a little bit. You know, we would have said, oh, what are you looking forward to seeing? Well, now we've seen 2 weeks of games. How have your anticipated storylines evolved or changed at all?
Well, 7A, I still think there's 5 or 6 teams that can win this thing. And again, we haven't seen Colquitt County. Some of those teams down south. I still think Walton, and I knew Walton was really good, but I think they've carried over their momentum from the summer into this fall. I think Langston Hughes is still that team in 6A until somebody dethrones them.
Gilbert shakes free in the backfield. Now going to cut back left. Did the ball come out? And I believe Washington's got it.
Yes, they do. I believe they do.
That's going to be a turnover. So if you're a Bulldogs fan, you can't say there haven't been opportunities, because this is going to be another one. And it is in Douglas territory. So Gilbert does a great job of getting free, then cuts back left. And I didn't see what caused the ball to come out. I'm not sure if it was the hit by Mikhail Fife, who actually recovered a fumble earlier. If it was just a hand properly placed.
Let's see. He's running right here. What? He got his ball. Look, ball's a little out away from his body. Right. Number 5 strips it.
Yeah,
nice
it's
job.
Cornelius Kemp that does that.
Yeah, nice job. He raked that ball out.
That's the
senior.
Terrific performer from last week. 15 tackles in the game against Banneker. So Washington now trying to capitalize on an opportunity. Woods will throw deeper than he's thrown all day long, and John Tate Gilbert was there in coverage. Hard to shake free of him. That's going to bring up second down.
I still like it. Just take a couple of shots right here. Hadn't been able to move the ball much at all. And let's take some shots down the field and see if our guy can come up with one.
Yeah, it's Turner who is the intended target, which is actually kind of a fun battle with Gilbert.
Getting back to what we talked about, I'll touch back on 5A. I think Creekside, Warner Robins, Ware County, Cartersville, Calhoun again. Maybe Hiram's a sleeper.
Yeah.
A lot of schools there. I think 5A is pretty wide open in my opinion.
There's the handoff to Turner. Turner gets free. First down and more. Inside the 30-yard line.
Nice run.
All the way down to about the 26.
Man, all of a sudden, Washington with some momentum. And this is one of the deepest drives they've had so far tonight, Brandon.
Yeah.
Touchdown saving tackle there.
You give him about 24 on that. Yeah, so maybe even like the pass attempt that we saw earlier, even though it was incomplete, maybe that's kind of created a little bit of a extra dimension for Douglas to think about defensively, which has created other opportunities. I think the thing that's going to be fun about 5A this year is it's probably a little bit like last year, where the overall depth of that classification just kind of gives it a fun, sort of anything can happen. I mean, in Hughes, when it comes to 6A, it's either Hughes wins or it doesn't. They're clearly the defending champion, and they're kind of, as you see, a big defensive front for Douglas. I mean, they were just stacked at the line of scrimmage, just all the way across that formation, and Turner had nowhere to go.
I tell you, a team that right now is not getting enough attention in 7A is Westlake.
I think that could be right.
They went on the road and beat a really good Cripps County team last night.
Yeah, big score too. Big score.
They've got 2 offensive tackles. They got one who might be one of the best in the country in Juan Gaston. They got a junior wide receiver that's everybody's talking about. I'm telling you, Westlake is Be someone to deal with.
Douglas stacked the box
Good
again.
Throw. He got it.
Wood's going to throw right over top and throw a touchdown to Jaden Heath. Heath from 26 yards out, and Washington has got on the board.
There's your guy. Is there a flag down?
Boy, that's going to be tough.
Is that a legal man downfield?
I mean, Douglas had just about everybody at the line of scrimmage. Woods does a great job to throw over it.
Ineligible receiver downfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Finally got the moment they've been waiting for all day long.
Man, but that's your guy.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like he's probably their most capable playmaker.
He had some twitch to him.
You know, Justin Rivers told us this week that's a guy that they feel like as a junior could kind of grow into a college prospect. His touchdown, though, taken off the board. Woods going to throw again, deep again. Different receiving target this time, but not able to connect with Joseph Rosser. Sharon McKee had the coverage.
I can tell you who is a heavy favorite, again, to win their classification. Is Prince Avenue Christian. Yeah. They went to Chattanooga last night and beat a really good Nashville Christian team 42-0.
And a good job by Georgia Tech coming there to Athens and getting the commitment from Aaron Filo, quarterback. Obviously, Buster Faulkner's got ties to the area,
He knew exactly what he was getting in Aaron Filo, and he's got a chance. He's got an outside chance to break the all-time state passing record.
Washington will go for it on 4th down. Woods going to throw again and not able to connect, but we do have another flag down, though. If it's on Washington, it'll be Douglas's football. Because the presumption is they will decline.
Illegal formation on the offense. Penalties decline. 1st down.
So, I mean, so much of the early season conversation for coaches kind of centers around, you know, what we had a chance to do. And I think for Washington for 2 consecutive weeks, assuming the next 7:48 plays out the way that it has right now, they may be talking about having some real opportunities. And 2 completely different games. Last week, you're talking about, you know, more than 80 combined, or around 80 points combined in the loss to Banneker. This is a much more low-scoring game, but once again, you can circle a play here, you can circle a play there, and if you're Washington, you say, man, a couple of balls bounce a different way, totally different game. Now, they've got 7:48, and so anything can still happen, but the storyline for now appears to be that, as you see Fountain standing up right there on the left side of the formation. Keep your eye on him if you're just tuning in. That's the USC commit, number 95 overall player in the country.
A delay game on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Rivers said last week that he thought they had seen some good things, even in a loss. Obviously, a lot of that also centered around kind of his offensive line, too. So he's seen some things that obviously he has liked, but just not able to find the scoreboard yet today against this Douglas team. Handoff goes the way of Stocker. Forward progress going to be stopped around the 30. You see DeQuavius Glass there. He's been a warrior today for Washington. Second 13 now. Throwing is Wilson. It's caught, and that's Adonis McCrary.
Yeah, there we go. Want to get him involved in the game if I'm Douglas.
All right, so here's another opportunity if you're Washington. Now, if you're Douglas, you're saying, hey, one more big drive, and maybe we kind of put this game on ice. And ice is something that sounds good to everybody.
Oh, my gosh.
Here at Henderson Stadium.
Whew.
Washington sneaks a couple of guys near the line of scrimmage. Fountain standing up, the left side of the formation. Pass complete.
Oh,
First down yardage for Quantavious Boykin. That's going to move the chains, and that's going to be a big one if you're Douglas.
That pass is caught by number 3. Quantavious Boykin. Touchdown, Astros.
Astros is a great nickname.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool nicknames here in the city of Atlanta. Douglas is the Astros. Southside's the Lasers. I've always liked that nickname. You see Wilson keeping it himself. He gets a good gain there. His forward progress going to be stopped around the 42. Another big gain for him. That's going to bring up second short. Three receivers on the right side. Wilson's going to look deep. Throwing down there. McCrary's there, but it's out of bounds. Cornelius Kemp had the coverage. Douglas moved it on a third down a moment ago. They went to Boykin to do that. We'll see what they dial up here. Almost halfway home in the fourth quarter and almost completely done with 4 games over the course of the last 2 days. An amazing job by the folks in the Atlanta Public Schools. Obviously, our entire team here with Peachtree TV. Score Atlanta. There's the handoff to Watkins. Watkins with room on his feet. 25, 20, taking folks for a ride inside the 15.
Yeah, he's been different for them. He's been that guy.
He doesn't want to come out of the game.
Yeah, he's no. Pants falling off of him. He's still running.
Just still going after it. We are in the red zone, by the way, presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. And Watkins is going to score. Follows the block all the way into the end zone. And that may just about do it. Chris Turner is center, lifts him in the air. And it's 20-0. Talk about the patience to just follow the block, stay behind, show good vision. PAT try coming up here. Be the first kicking opportunity for Douglas today. And it's no good. Tayshawn Ford got plenty of leg on it, but just couldn't quite put it through the upright. So straight fives across the clock, 5:55. Douglas is up 20-0. The West Side Classic looks like it's going the direction of the Astros.
Dang, where you get this car?
You need to join the union.
The union?
Absolutely. You can get 10 of these.
Union construction workers earn the highest wages with the best benefits and the most protection in the construction industry. Find your career in construction. Go to GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com and start your future today.
Hendrick.
Drive now, pay later. Shop HendrickCars.com this month and make no payments for 90 days. Over 20,000 new and pre-owned vehicles. No payments for 90 days. Visit HendrickCars.com.
What does it mean when people say America is a land of opportunity?
It means the power to discover,
To redefine yourself.
To improve yourself.
to challenge yourself,
To realize there's more in you
Than you ever knew.
that you could do.
Means giving people an open field to explore what they do best.
With the best tools,
The best training.
the best technology in the world. We bring out the best in the people who serve.
So you can be all you can be.
America, come along with our adventure seekers, the Sanchez family, and discover summer with the Ford F-150.
See how available features like Pro Trailer Backup Assist make backing up as easy as turning a knob. Watch as Pro Power on board lights up the night. And Ford Blue Cruise makes driving even more fun.
Now cruising.
Now get select Ford F-150 trucks with 3.9% financing for 60 months, plus get up to $1,500 cash back with your trade-in. Only at your local Ford dealer.
The GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com Great Atlanta Bash is sponsored by the Georgia Sheet Metal and Air Conditioning Contractors Association. CareersInSheetMetal.com, building a solid future. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 613. Electrify your career. The Atlanta Falcons. Rise up, Dirty Birds. Gordo's. Fiesta every day. Personal Touch Lawn Care. The smallest details make the biggest difference. And by Breda Pest Management, the official pest control of Atlanta.
And welcome back, 20-0. Frederick Douglass has the lead over Booker T. Washington. The reason why is the man you see on your screen, the running back, Antoine Watkins, doing the play right before he scored. Now, he'd had a big gain to get Douglass on the doorstep, waved off the substitution, stayed in, and capped off the scoring drive, of course, brought to you by Breda Pest Management. 6 plays, 68 yards, minute 53 off the clock. Watkins from 13 yards out, the finisher. 2-0 for the first time since 2019 is what Douglass is trying to be. Continuing the job, as Heath found a little bit of room there for a minute, continuing the job that Stanley Pritchett has done. The Douglass graduate in his own right. College ball at South Carolina, 4th round pick of the Miami Dolphins, 9 seasons in the NFL. Veteran coach from a handful of stops, and now back here with Douglass.
Brandon, it just puts a different buzz around school. I mean, you get some football excitement around a school that hadn't had it in a while. It just creates different energy every day.
When, Pritchett himself said that, beating Mays last week, which is a game that means as much really to a lot of these Douglass folks as this Washington rivalry win would mean. He said the phone was blowing up, texts, messages. Yeah, that's a game they'd got to be 37-0 last year.
Yep.
Beat Mays this year.
Yep.
So if you're looking for evidence of a turnaround, I think that Pritchett can show you that here at his alma mater right now. Well, jet sweep play. Trying to find the left side is Turner. And he's going to do everything he can to get to the 35 and get 7 out of that. And he was just having to shake off Astros defenders the entire way.
Yeah, he's running hard. You like that. No quit in him right now.
A part of the program that Justin Rivers, the coach, wants to be about. I loved a line from him this week. He says, I'm trying to breed character in our players, and he feels like they've kind of come a long way in that regard. But then he says, and really the proper demonstration of character is something away from the football field.
100%.
Do something with that character outside of football.
100%.
And I think that's the right perspective for Rivers to share. His senior class has a 3.5 GPA.
Oh, my goodness. Fantastic. That's one thing, Brandon, I feel like has been lost in football is what it does for young men.
Absolutely.
The ability to function as an employee down the line because you've been on a team, you've faced adversity, and you know how to be a teammate. You know how to be a worker. So you know how to be a male role model. That's because right. People look up to you, and it's not so much the end result. It's not a indication whether it was success or not if you got a college scholarship.
Absolutely.
It's what you take with you into life, and I truly believe I'm a prime example of that.
Yeah.
I was never going to play college football, but what I learned from my high school coach and work ethic and those things have paid dividends for me, as I went on in life.
Wood's going to try to throw deep. That's Torrance Polk in coverage. There's actually an interesting sequence going on with Polk a moment ago. He had the big hit in the backfield. He kind of came up a little ginger after the hit that he delivered. They tried to get him off the field. He also kind of waved off the substitution and just stayed in right there. So Polk, another one of these guys that's clearly fighting hard right
pass
now.
interference on the defense. 15-yard penalty. It's a first down.
Man, love to hear that about the Washington senior class. 3.5.
Yeah.
A lot of those
We
young
also
men.
got Dry time. Hydration. Dry hydration tech.
So they're going to take a hydration timeout, give folks a chance to get some water with 3:59 left to go in the game.
I would never question the safety of a player in a white hat, but at 3:59 in a game,
listen,
I think both teams are ready to take that mulligan.
All the water you want, just a few minutes away. Anyway, though, hey, Atlanta Falcons got some great group ticket packages available for Falcons home games coming up. This is a really fun opportunity for youth sports teams or maybe client hosting events or a whole lot more. So find out all you need to know online at atlantafalcons.com/tickets.
What is Falcons football? It's Grady putting quarterbacks on notice. It's Kyle shredding defenses like a unicorn. It's Tyler breaking tackles like phone screens. It's AJ locking down anyone on his island. It's Drake touching the sun. It's ZP breaking another record. What is Falcons football? It's all you dirty birds. Rise up.
And we are back. It is all Douglas Astros here right now, 20-0 the score. The conclusion to our GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com Great Atlanta Bash almost draws nigh. 4 really fun games over the course of the last couple of days. And Rusty, I'll reiterate something that I had said earlier today. You know, I think that for you and I, who grew up well outside the Atlanta city limits, to really acquaint ourselves with some of these great, rivalries and the passion that exists for the sport of high school football here inside the Atlanta city limits, the Atlanta public school system. Jasper Jewell obviously doing such a great job as the district's athletic director.
Oh, he does a fantastic job for APS.
I think it's been a fun thing for me to learn a whole lot more about over the course of the couple of years. Now my year 3 of being a part of this, really something I'm very fortunate for.
Think about this. The last 2 weeks, I.J. Rosenberg, Roddy White, and our team have pulled off 14
amazing
games on TV. 14 high school football games on network television for our state.
And sometimes you talk about trading paint. You think these guys aren't playing hard. You just saw that Washington helmet down there. A lot of those blue chips kind of knocked off. And it's going to be intercepted. And how about Torrance Polk stepping right in front of it? And he's going to get a blocker. And he's going to go all the way back for a 28-yard pick 6 interception return. And we'll make that our game's key defensive stop. Presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. The pressure was on. The pass was up for grabs. And Polk steps right in front of it.
He had a little left in the tank, didn't he?
And runs his way to the winner's circle. We told you he had to shake off his own substitution a moment ago. They wanted to pull him out of the game because he kind of came up a little ginger there. And he's made 2 pretty big plays since having done that.
And oh, by the way, go back out for special teams, man.
Yeah, congratulations on the touchdown. Now get back out there.
Get your helmet on. We got to have you for extra point.
So Douglas will try PAT again. This was something strategically they were not doing earlier in the game, but willing to do that right now and give Tayshawn Ford a chance. And this time he's true. It's good. And the Astros are up 27-0. Quite a performance today. From the program representing Region 5 from 3A. And while we have a moment, let's see our play of the game presented by HendrickCars.com from a guy over the course of the next couple of years. We'll be making a lot of these plays. It's Jonte Gilbert. You see him take the handoff as a running back, and he would go deep into Astros territory, or I should say Bulldogs territory, finally brought down around the 12-yard line. That's our HendrickCars.com play of the game for the outstanding 2025 prospect, Jonte Gilbert. What does his recruiting profile look like? You mentioned a recent decommit from Ohio State. How about the outlook now moving forward?
Yeah, everybody, it's open because he has the offers. He has the Georgia, he has the Tennessee, he has the Auburn, he has the Florida State. So, when you commit like that as a young man and you kudos to him because he backed off, wasn't ready. So now at this point, Brandon, you start taking visits to game days, kind of seeing where you're at. Georgia Tech, listen, a couple blocks over, Georgia Tech's a school that's on him hard as well. So you're going to start seeing him take visits, and he's going to transition into a name that's going to be one of those nationally known names for this next cycle, the 2025 class. I'm going to tell you, the 2025 class in Georgia is really loaded, but it's loaded at premium positions, O-line and D-line.
Ford's kick away, going to go out of bounds. Yeah, that's the indication you get, right? Lots of lines of scrimmage.
Lots of lines of scrimmage. You got Mason Short committed to Alabama. Got Glover at Langston Hughes, tackle. He's already committed to Alabama. You got Josh Petty, some consider a top 20 player in the country at Fellowship Christian, a player that I absolutely love. 6'7" tackle at Westlake, Juan Gadsden.
Yeah.
Got some bloodlines with NBA. His father, I think his dad played at Georgia Tech. But you look at go back after this.
Kick out of bounds on the offense. They're elected to receive it right there where the ball went out at. First down.
You look at Elijah Griffin, who many people think is a top 3 player in the country, the 2025 defensive lineman down at Savannah Christian. Justice Terry at Manchester, who is verbally committed to Georgia already at defensive line. And really, when you start dissecting the last couple of classes in the state of Georgia, defensive line and wide receiver as a whole have been down. I can tell you that the 2025 class in the state of Georgia is really, really deep with offensive linemen and defensive linemen, and that's a good thing for these in-state schools.
Had a chance to talk to Justice Terry for a couple of minutes at our first ever Georgia High School Football Media Day.
It's hard to believe he's a junior in high school.
Really, I found him to be a very impressive man.
Yeah.
Obviously a big dude. I mean, he's a large human, but a really impressive guy. I enjoyed that conversation. I love the event this year to kind of I think a lot of times you and I kind of think of the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic Luncheon as our kind of unofficial kickoff to the season, and now a little bit before that we'll have our Georgia High School Football Media Day. To me, that's a welcome addition to that sort of late summer schedule before the season kind of gets up and rolling.
Already talked with I.J. Rosenberg, probably going to split that thing up into 2 locations next year, two different days, so we can hit South Georgia, Middle Georgia as well. But you look at on 3 rankings right now in the 2025 class. Elijah Griffin is a 5-star. Zayden Walker is a 5-star inside linebacker at Slay County. Elias Williams, who's now at Camden County, 6'7", 235-pound defensive end, tight end, verbally committed to Georgia. You look at Jonte Gilbert right here. The prediction machine right now has him at South Carolina.
I saw that earlier, yeah.
Jaden Perlate, who's the outside linebacker at Buford, is a verbal commit to Georgia. So really, really a deep class. Antoine Hill is the quarterback out of Houston County. And I
really like him a lot.
A.J. Hill, we will see him later in the year. I don't know if it's announced or not, but I'll go ahead and say if it's not, we're going down to Houston County to watch them play Lee County.
I love that.
That's going to be
how much fun is that?
No doubt.
Listen, anytime we get a chance to go down there in the middle of Georgia, I love that. We've been to Warner Robins before.
Yep.
And getting a chance to go see Houston County. And I thought Houston County had and you see the beautiful Midtown skyline as we're kind of getting ready to wrap things up here in a bit. But I thought that Houston County had a really nice run through the playoffs last year, ran into a tough Gainesville team, and that ultimately knocked them out. But to me, Hill's a really good quarterback.
I'm excited about going down and seeing that running back that Lee County has. Everyone talks about. Yep. And then it's just going to be a great environment. I'll tell you, Houston County was very, very excited when they got the opportunity to be on TV, because now with our streaming, you can stream Peachtree TV with the Atlanta News First app. You can stream it anywhere in the country. And we'll have some more announcements on some things about the reach around the state with Peachtree and his new company. So excited about that.
Free timeout. Got injury.
Jordan Turner, the running back, is down right now, and I don't know, once again, if that's a cramp or if that's something different, but he is being tended to by coaches here for the moment. And as we're talking about upcoming games, we'll remind you again where we're going to be next Friday, back in Barron Stadium in Rome for Carrollton and Rome.
You want to talk about a 2025, Jaden Harmon. We saw him, the linebacker at Rome, came up to me after the Cass game and said, look, I was a little banged up. I tried to go. Remember, he didn't play much And so I think he's going to be back healthy. That's a big piece of the puzzle. Justin Terrell, the NC State defensive line commit there at Rome. So, there's a lot of players. Caleb Odom, the Alabama wide receiver, tight end commit for Carrollton. So we can go on and on and on, but I can tell you this with 100% confidence. That place will be busting at the seams next Friday night at Barron Stadium.
So good news back here is that Jordan Turner is going to walk off on his own power. So hopefully that's an indication that all is fine with him, and you're happy to see that. And when you think about Julian Lewis committing to USC this week, a 2026 quarterback, really only just now starting his sophomore season, there's obviously a lot of, subplots to that story. I mean, what's your overall take on kind of where Georgia's heading from an NIL standpoint and, a player of Lewis's caliber making such an early decision? Now, something that he kind of telegraphed. He said he might like to make an early decision. I guess that'd been indication from him. But just your overall take on the Lewis situation right now.
Well, I mean, look at this play here.
Yeah, you see, as Douglas gets the football back and Watkins gets a chance to do what he's done all day long, which is just move piles.
As you talk to his dad early on, he understood how quick things are going to escalate with him. And, I think they took a lot of visits this summer. Our good buddy Chad Simmons at On 3 actually basically broke that along with Hayes Fawcett. And Chad called me the night before it went out, and he said,
got encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty. It's a first down.
Georgia was really in that thing with them. They felt like Georgia may not take a 25, and that was very attractive to them and he and his family. But when they went to L.A. and spent some time again on a second trip, and listen, you can say what you want about Lincoln Riley. If you're a quarterback, you got to take that serious with him and what he's done production-wise. So they really just sold him. And do I think it's over? Here's what I'll tell you. They seem pretty set on USC, but nobody is going to quit recruiting him, period. So long way to go there. People ask me, is he going to reclassify? I have no answer for that. I have not ever had that discussion with him. I saw that was a hot topic on Twitter this week. Does he move to California? All those types of things. Have no clue about that. What I do have a clue is he's still playing in the state of Georgia. He's still playing for a great head coach, and he's still playing on a really, really good football team at Carrollton, and we'll get to see him next week. So, a lot of questions to be answered down the line for Julian Lewis, but right now committed to USC and looks like he is focused completely on his sophomore season at Carrollton High School.
I won't pretend to know what role, as you see right now, Douglas content to take knees, what role NIL may have played in his recruitment necessarily.
I haven't heard a ton about that, to be honest with you.
I think what's interesting here is Douglas is going to win the Westside Classic 27-0. I'll just quickly finish this up before we get a chance to hear from the winning coach, Stanley Pritchett. When you think about NIL rule changes in Georgia, it's players like Lewis that obviously are a big part of that.
And Dr. Hines is going to present to the Georgia High School a proposal. I don't know what it is, and I don't think anybody else knows what it is. But certainly Georgia High School, one way or the other, whichever side of the fence you stand on, they're going to get into some big discussions here in October over NIL in the state of Georgia.
Well, as far as discussions go, nothing left to say here. It is Douglas 2-0 for the first time since 2019. Back-to-back rivalry wins against Mays last week, and just down the road, it's Booker T. Washington that Douglas gets the win against right now in the rivalry known as the West Side Classic. What a performance from the Astros, and what a weekend here. 4 great football games. We're going to get a chance to hear from Stanley Pritchett in a moment. The former Falcon, 9-year NFL vet, Douglas grad, doing it with and for his alma mater right now.
He looks like he can still take at least a couple of snaps.
I would say so. We're going to have Craig Sager Jr. standing by in the presentation of the trophy. Great sportsmanship here by both these teams.
Yeah, they know each other well.
Playing in middle school against each other, seeing each other just all the time throughout the community. And Craig Sager standing by with Stanley Pritchett. Let's go to Craig, winning coach, for the interview.
All right, I'm here with Douglas alum and Douglas head coach Stanley Pritchett. A 27-0 win. Congratulations, coach, on the victory.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So that's going to close out the Great Atlanta Bash. You guys opened up the season with a big win over Mays. You got the win over Booker T right now, and then you got a short week. You're going to be playing Miller Grove next. So talk about winning this kind of Atlanta gauntlet.
Well, it's good to win our neighborhood. You know, we had 2 neighborhood rivalries back-to-back, Mays, and this week the West Side Classic. We get the belt back to bring the belt back home, but we got to, we're going to enjoy it one day. We're going to get ready for Miller Grove starting tomorrow.
Yep. The defense did its thing, got the shutout. Offensively, though, that last touchdown, Antoine Walker, Watkins. When we talked earlier, you said he had a tweaked ankle, might not play, but what did you see from him, his toughness, just embodying the Astro spirit?
He was a resilient. He gave everything he had, the effort, the discipline that we're looking for in our young men, and I'm just proud of him.
And then, what's next? Just a short week, a short turnaround. We don't want to think about it too much. We want to soak this one in, but just talk about this upcoming match with Miller Grove and what you guys expect this season.
Well, it's a short week, but we're going to enjoy this tonight. But we're going to get ready for Miller Grove. It's going to be a tough short week. They had a big victory today against Maynard Jackson, so we're going to look forward to competing against them next Thursday.
And then year 3 for you, how confident are you just at this point right now? You had a great offseason, just what you guys are going to accomplish.
Well, our mission, we want to be 1-0 each week. So we want to know this week, and we're going to keep it going. So next week, we look to aim to be 1-0.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Coach Pritchett, and we're going to be back with our players of the game and MVP right after the break.
Okay, welcome guys back to the Georgia Construction Careers Tailgate Show. I'm Najee Wickers with the Gatorade Offensive and Gatorade Defensive Players of the Game. So guys, go ahead and tell me first, man, you were bruising out there, man. Big game for you. You guys are 2-0. You kind of set the tone, shut out today. Just tell me a little bit, man, about you just running the football, man.
I'm just thankful, for the O-line. I'm just thankful for the O-line, and they gave me good hold to hit, and just being able to just help my team score and carry them down the field.
100%. And then, man, you had the big pick 6, man. That kind of set the tone for the game. You were physical all day with PBUs. Man, just you were flying around to the ball, man. So what do you just kind of equate that to, and how good it felt to kind of play on TV today?
Point that to my defensive coordinator in practice, basically showing my skills I learned in practice, basically. Just trying to be 1-0.
And kind of last thing, guys, man, obviously you got a tough non-region schedule. So how do you think this game just prepared you for that?
I really don't know. It's just to show everybody that we coming for them, and just to prepare for the next game, and just to do better than we did this week, and just keep on progression and become a 1-0.
Yes, sir. And for you? Of course. So yeah, just said, how did this game kind of prepare you? You got a tough non-region schedule, or tough region schedule, excuse me, with Sandy Creek, Carver, Atlanta. Getting games like this just kind of prepare you, for that, and kind of want to go far in the playoffs.
Region play, you know who are in our region. Basically preparing to go undefeated 1-0 every week till we get to the region game and hopefully come out on top.
All right, 100%. All right, guys. So only one could be the MVP. So I'm going to go ahead and present this Robbie Hunter MVP Award. Congratulations. We're going to pass it your way, man. Robbie Hunter MVP. Congrats on a big game, man, and good luck the rest of the season.
You too. You too.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and toss it back to the booth and wrap up the rest of the day. Thanks a lot for the Great Atlanta Bash.
Thank you so much, Najee. Congratulations to Antoine Watkins bringing home the Robbie Roper MVP Award. Such a
Robbie Hunter, excuse me.
Yep.
And it could have been Robbie Roper as well, though.
Yeah, the Robbie, absolutely. Such a well-deserved honor for sure. An amazing thing and a wonderful day there for the Douglas Astros, who walk away winners here in the West Side Classic, the final game of our Great Atlanta Bash, and 2 young men who had great games getting a chance to be honored down there. Great to see that. Torrance Polk with the pick 6. Antoine Watkins, the great day as the running back. Just an absolutely impressive performance there. You love to see it. And we want to say thank you to everybody who's been a part of our Great Atlanta Bash, including our friends from GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com, the entire crew who put this together. And, of course, everybody you've seen on camera all week there as well. When we talk to you next week, it's the drive for the GHSA state title. It'll begin at Barron Stadium.